Brother Moku requesting to speak as well, too, guys. And I also, guys, like I say, Newstoter, we got the membership now. We got the actual membership. So if you have not, we're definitely trying to get people to join that membership on the actual platform. You can support us monthly that way for as little as $1.75. So we definitely need that support. Definitely, if you have not, go ahead and get your membership. It is affordable, it is cheap, and it is greatly appreciated. Support black media, support black owned business as well too. Brother Moku, what's going on with you tonight? How you doing?
Man, I can't complain. Right fully in the system of racism, white supremacy. Glad to see you up and running tonight. Race baiting. Today's well. Yeah, I'm ready to jump into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for my people that's going to be coming in, I just went live on YouTube. For my people that's going to be coming in on YouTube tonight, listening to the actual space on YouTube, is titled a little bit different. It says, "Is race baiting a bad thing? Unrest in Haiti, potential TikTok ban could be on the way." So yes, yes, yes. Is race baiting a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Is it needed? So we're gonna be discussing that. We're gonna be talking about that, guys. Definitely for the people coming in, y'all make sure on YouTube, y'all click that notification bell because YouTube is not sending out my notifications whatsoever. Click that notification bell. Go ahead and like tonight's broadcast. Leave a comment and definitely share it on your social media platforms as well too. Definitely share tonight's broadcast and all other broadcasts on your social media platforms as well too. Let me go ahead and touch up on this situation tonight. Brother Moku, you got a space tonight, don't you?
Yeah, I got a space after your space is ended on military benefits, military disability benefits. So any veterans in the space, or any spouses of veterans, any children of veterans themselves, yeah, definitely come up in the space. We're gonna be chopping up the first part of a segment about disability rates, going into detail about these benefits and how they can be passed down to your offspring in the event of your death. So yeah, we want to chop all that up tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let me go ahead and touch up and shout out to you. Thank you for the contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and touch up on the actual couple of these titles tonight as well, too, guys. For my people in YouTube, y'all make sure y'all have some questions, especially on the race baiting thing. I want to hear what y'all think about that as well. This is from Axios. It says, the House on Wednesday passed a bipartisan bill that will force China-based ByteDance to sell TikTok or face a ban in the U.S. Why it matters, lawmakers passed the bill in a 352, 65 to 1 vote, raising the stakes in a battle that imperils the app for its millions of users across the country. The legislation has moved fast. It was introduced last week, and the House Energy and Commerce Committee voted unanimously to advance it to the floor just days later, but it lacks a companion bill in the Senate where lawmakers are still weighing the measure. Ahead of the vote, House lawmakers met with intelligence officials on Thursday for classified briefing on the bill's national security concerns. Several walked out unconvinced, saying no concerns specific to TikTok were raised. Representative Maxwell Frost, speaking later Tuesday in front of a crowd of TikTok creators on the Hill, said he'd like to see ownership of TikTok change, but this bill is not the way to achieve what we're looking to get because it will affect American life for so many people. Some members also complained the legislative process was rushed, but that didn't stop the bill from passing with broad bipartisan support. What's up next? Next comes an uphill climb in the Senate. Any attempt to fast track the bill in the upper chamber would likely be blocked by Senator Rand Paul, who views the legislation as unconstitutional, but in a major coup for the House, Senators Mark Warner and Marco Rubio, the two top senators on the Intelligence Committee, issued a statement Wednesday supporting the bill. We encourage by today's strong bipartisan vote in the House of Representatives and look forward to working together to get this bill passed through the Senate and signed into law, the senators said. Between the lines, Warner and Rubio are backing the House bill despite having their own legislation to try to address TikTok national security concerns. I think the approach we had a year ago is not going to make it, Warner told Axios about his bill to crack down on TikTok, the Restrict Act. Senate Commerce Committee Chairman Maria Cantwell also had her own TikTok bill, the Guard Act. She said is not considering being co-sponsored of the House bill and hasn't met with its sponsors. Reality check: it's a big deal how fast a bill moved to the House, but there's a very long road ahead for millions of Americans on the app who might see any impact, even if forcing the bill sailed within 165 days, eventually passes the Senate and is signed into law, it will likely be taken into court immediately. Immediately. So that's what we at. I know you guys seen a bunch of stuff online about the TikTok. They've been talking about TikTok, and they've been talking about how the actual Chinese are using it to get valuable information as well too. A lot of state agencies in Florida, I believe in, and some of these, like, I don't know if it was like some of these actual college campuses may have actually already outlawed the actual use of actual TikTok as well too. Let's not forget TikTok is with the Chinese. They feel like the Chinese are monitoring them, spying on them, so they're getting all kind of sensitive information. I believe you have 175 million American users that's on TikTok as well too. So TikTok, and I saw something today. You had a number of people saying that hey, that they make their livelihood off of TikTok, that they make the videos and this and that or whatever. And if you get rid of TikTok, then immediately they have to do something different financially. That's going to really make a real cut into the income they're making as well too. So you got some people that depend solely on trying to use TikTok, or I should say they depend solely on TikTok for making income as well too. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen with this, but at this point, I guess they're saying that TikTok, if they sell it, they can keep it here in America. But now I wonder if they mean sell it, period. Like they can't sell it to another Chinese based company. It has to be somebody outside of China or whatever. If they sell it. Because if you sell a company, but you say you sell it to another Chinese business, would they still, had a thumbs down for them as well too? So this is very interesting. This is developing story. We're gonna see how this thing unravels. But I'm sure that also you got a lot of social media companies over here in America too, Facebook and Instagram and X and all the rest of them too. Wouldn't mind seeing TikTok, get up out the way because they are a competitor. So bigger market for the actual American companies. I don't know. We know a lot of these actual electronics that you have in your house and stuff like that. It was always talked that the Chinese and some of these other foreign entities had damn computers and cameras in there to spy on people and everything else like that as well too. So very, very interesting. They've been trying to get all the TikTok users to call their local Congress people to complain and to try to champion, to try to keep TikTok on the actual to keep it up and running and stuff like that. So I believe Trump too, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Donald Trump was actually opposed to this right here. So I wonder how that's going to play out with the Republicans as well too, because I believe Donald Trump is actually opposed to them trying to put a ban on TikTok. A lot, and you got a lot of people saying, hey, that's unconstitutional, and that's not really the way we do in this capitalism market that they always talk about. Capitalism. Well, hey, this is not really capitalism right here at this point in time. So developing story, guys. We'll see what's up. Shout out, I see Re-Rob in the space. What's up, Re-Rob? What's up, Trouble? What's up, Andre? What's up to you guys? You guys definitely make sure you go ahead and tweet the space out. Let me cover real quick. I want to cover and all these articles tonight in the Jumbotron, and they're also on in the description on YouTube. I want to touch up on this thing about what's going on in Haiti, because we keep seeing all of these gangs overrunning. There's stories people talk about. We see people up there talk about you got cannibals and all kind of stuff, and it's just a number of things. Of course, a week or two ago, a couple of weeks ago, they were saying that the actual wife of the former president, that she played a part in him actually being, assassinated. So there's all kind of different things, all kind of wild conspiracies, all kind of theories running along. But one thing that anytime you have a war going on or you have conflict, you're going to have the actual residents suffering, and the people suffering right now is to the point that they're almost to the level where they're almost about to be consumed with a famine in the actual country as well too. You're getting all kind of reports saying that a famine is quickly on the way there. So let me cover this real quick. This is from one of our curation partners down in the Caribbean, the St. Lucia Times. So shout out to the St. Lucia Times. It says UN agency fears major famine looming in Haiti. A United Nations agency has issued a warning that Haiti is on the verge of a major hunger crisis, even as Prime Minister, Henry resigned on Monday. Fahim, I see you coming up here, so I'll let you get you up here real quick. According to the UN World Food Program, aid operations are at a risk of grinding to a halt amid rampant violence as Prime Minister Henry resigned on Monday. A UN release said armed gangs have tightened their grip on the capital, Port-au-Prince, controlling the main roads. According to the release, gang violence has displaced more than 362,000 Haitians, over half of them children, while at least 35,000 people have fled from their homes since the beginning of 2024, trying to escape the escalating crisis. Now, I know you have some people in the space that say, well, why are we worried about Haiti and this and that? Let's not forget that I'm here in Florida, and Haiti ain't nothing but a jump skip away from from Florida, and we probably have 400,000 Haitians in the actual state of Florida. So Florida probably has the biggest population of biggest Haitian population of any state by far in the country. So I know a lot of people say, well, why are we worrying about Haiti, this and that, or whatever? Hey, for one, it's international news, or it's world news, and for two, it can make a significant impact on people right here in the country, because like you said, you got people trying to escape right now, all of the violence and all of the chaos that's going on over there. And if they escape, the place they're going to be looking to, they're going to be coming to Florida. I mean, they was coming to Florida anyway, so now they're definitely becoming to Florida. The lack of goods and resources is worsening an already precarious economic situation, with water and essential services being stretched to the limit. UN spokesperson Stephanie Durjak said. For her part, Sydney McCain, WFP's executive director, said, spreading violence keeps aid workers from reaching communities in need at a time when the donor funds are drying up. McCain disclosed that $674 million humanitarian response plan for Haiti is just 2% funded. So they got they have this response plan of $674 million in humanitarian aid or whatever, and just 2% for Haiti so far as I guess has been funded. Our humanitarian operation in Haiti is running on fumes, with funding for hot meals about to run out in 2 weeks. Ms. McCain warned, we need donors to step up so we can tackle the rising tide of hunger and halt the slide into chaos, she stated. Gene Martin, WFP country director in Haiti, warned of an impending famine. He observed that hunger levels in Haiti typically occur in war zones. He also emphasized that 1.4 million people in Haiti were a step away from famine. So shout out. I see Fahima up here, guys. And we're going to be covering too. I want to get what you guys got to think about race baiting as well too. That's a topic we're going to be covering tonight as well too. I put out a post, and a number of people, I put out this post about you had these two girls fighting, of course, a black and white girl. We talked about that one last night. And then there was another post that I put out, and I think it was an older post where you had it looked like two white women, but people saying, well, they were Mexicans, they weren't here in America or whatever. And I asked a question. I said, well, should this woman here go to jail because she did the same thing by hitting the woman's head against the actual ground or whatever? And people was like, oh yeah, you're race bait, and it doesn't matter. We care about justice, and you're just trying to race bait and this and that or whatever. So I want to get everybody's opinion about race baiting, because whenever you talk about a situation involving race in the country, the first thing people accuse black people of is playing the race card or race baiting as well too. So I want to get everybody's opinion on race baiting as well. Fahima, what's going on tonight? I see you up here. How you doing?
Greeting, Newstoter. I just want to comment on two things. First off, the TikTok thing. I think the United States has some cotton-picking nerve to sit here and tell another country that they have to sell their platform to them. I mean, how would we react if another country said, oh, well, Facebook has to sell their platform to us. I mean, it's just absolutely arrogant, and it's white supremacist. Two other things I wanted to mention. And I put two things in the timeline. One, Haiti is being punished. It's being punished for one because of the Haitian Revolution. It is not just that they freed themselves and kicked Napoleon's you know what, but they said any enslaved person could come to Haiti and be free. And they never forgot that, because Haiti was a place where a person could be free and remove themselves from slavery. And also, DeSabo was the founder of Chicago. I don't know if you guys know Mark Clark, but I wonder how he feels about that. Martavius Clark, who was on this anti-immigrant kick. DeSabo was the one who founded the state of Chicago, the city of Chicago. And I guess that's basically it. Haiti is being punished for freeing itself from slavery and allowing anyone to come to that country and be free during the time of slavery. And I'll land there.
All right. Thank you, Fahima. Fahima, I'm in 100% agreement when you spoke about the actual TikTok thing. I just, there's so many different nations that do business over here in the United States. And, how often do you hear the actual government get involved and say, okay, well, you got to sell this business. You got to go ahead and get rid of this, or that's the only way you can keep it. You have to go ahead and sell it, whatever. Like, let's not forget, we're allowing foreign investors to come up here and buy up all kind of real estate and land in this country and everything else. So to be upset about actual, I don't have a TikTok account. I think I had one at one time, but I don't have one anyways. But to be upset about this right here, it does seem a little trivial to me that you don't mind all these other people coming from around the world buying things up, but you have an issue with the actual social media. And hey, they could be, I'm not going to sit up here. They could be up here, but they could be spying. Now, let's be for real. All of these major countries do it. The U.S. spies, the U.S. spies on people, Russia spies on people, Great Britain spies on people, China spies on people. So it's nothing that's that's shocking or surprising whatsoever. Fahim, I see you. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say that it's arrogance, and also this guy who used to make Candy Crush, who's an ally of Trump, wants to buy TikTok.
Say that again. Now you said ally Trump wants to buy TikTok.
Yeah, it's a guy. He used to produce Candy Crush and a number of other games. I'll see if I can find the article that conveys that. But again, remember, Trump was always anti-China. Remember how he mocked and said that the COVID was for the China virus. He's always been anti-China, even though he got money from China. But I understand that one of his allies is interested in buying TikTok. But I think it's outrageous. I mean, how can you sit? It's just complete arrogance. It's arrogance.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I want to read. I'm not sure who had the hand of Quadir or Brother Moku, but I'm gonna get to both of y'all. Let me read this comment real quick. Let me read two comments. R. Bailey, shout out to R. Bailey. R. Bailey became a member of Newstoter platform as well too. R. Bailey says, anytime something impacts Black people anywhere, it should concern us. We are our brother's keeper. Love My Folks made an interesting point right here. She says, and Fahima, she must have been talking to me. She said, DeSable was not Haitian or an immigrant. He was from Louisiana. Haiti did not exist when he founded a trading post in what today is called Chicago. R. Bailey says the only people who race bait are them folks because there's an agenda behind anything they say or do publicly. So shout out to R. Bailey, and shout out to Love My Folks over there in the spot as well too. Love My Folks, R. Bailey. You guys make sure y'all share the nice broadcast as well too. Let me go ahead and get to the hands. Also, guys, like I say, up in the Jumbotron, we got the membership. Definitely go ahead and become a member on Newstoter. We had 4-5 people last night that end up signing up on the platforms to support us monthly or whatever. So we definitely need more and more of you guys to go ahead and support us as well too. I'm not sure who was first. I go Quadir and I get to you, Brother Moku. I'm not sure who was first.
It was Brother Moku.
Oh, okay. Brother Moku, you go ahead.
Yeah, I will address the topic. Race baiting. Even when Tariq coined the term race baiting, I'm not sure if I really clearly understand how victims of racism play the race card when we are indeed not in control of race classification. That's one. So is race baiting in today's world? Is it necessary? I only can see white supremacists playing any kind of race card because they are in control of race classification. And race classification is only in place to practice racism. Victims of racism, at best, only can be collaborators of racism, white supremacy. So there you go on the race baiting. But the Haiti situation, though, I have to agree with Sister Fatima on this. Haiti is being punished. And as white supremacy always loves making an example, this is their example of making sure that Haiti remains broken. Haiti was a tool, and it failed as far as being a tool of racism, white supremacy, just like our sister just pointed out. And in my way of looking at their punishment, America is looking to break that tool so that it can never rise up again. That's what I look at for Haiti. As far as TikTok, I can see that TikTok is a way for us to really disseminate a lot of information, a lot of race crimes that are going on. But I do also see it as a tool that can weaken the structure of racism, white supremacy. I don't think that this is the most constructive way to destructure racism, white supremacy, meaning I don't think it'll destructure it in a way where it will eliminate it and produce justice. But I do actually see it as a mechanism that could weaken the system of racism, white supremacy. I do see that. So I'll land there.
Real talk. Appreciate that, brother Moku. Thank you. And like I said too, just from a standpoint that, like I said, when you have people that's going through conflict the way that the Haitians are going now, they're going to be looking to get up out of there. And like I say, historically, we know that Florida is the first place that many of them are going to come to as well too. So you're going to have some people saying, well, we can't worry about this, we can't worry about that. But if you're living in Florida, you're living in the Southeast, it's something that's could become a real reality here. It may not be anything for 5,000 to 10,000 of those people come over here and say, you know what, we can't take it over there. We got to leave. You got Haitians leaving there anyway. So now, this is just going to just speed up the process as well too. So I think we got to look at that, and we got to be realistic about it. And I agree with everybody saying what Haiti did to not only France, but what they did to Great Britain and Spain, and some of the biggest colonial masters in the world. You talk about just basically slaves beating them with any kind of weapons they could get. That's something that has stung for a long time, and that's something that these people never forget, and they're punished. And also, don't forget this much too: Haiti's loaded with natural resources. I mean, they are loaded. And the whole thing is that, hey, we got to keep them down so they don't get they get their weight up. Quadir, go ahead, you got it.
Hey, what's up, Toter? What's going on, DJ? What's up to the room? Hope everybody's still having a great night. What's going on? Yeah. So first, I want to talk about the TikTok situation. Now, honestly, I find it highly weird. I do recall, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I do recall when Trump was in office, he had an issue with TikTok then. And I don't remember exactly, but I thought they had...
He was supposed to ban it. He was the first that was trying to ban it because they were spying on taking out information.
Right. So I remember that. So that's why I'm confused as to why it's coming around again, because I thought whatever happened then, they hashed that out with Trump and all of them. So
hey DDP, we're gonna get to you. Go ahead and just get your hand up, and we got you next. You're the next speaker.
So I thought whatever happened back when Trump was president, they hashed that out, and coming back years later, under the Biden administration, it seems that they're having the same problem. So I can't put a finger on it. Honestly, I don't know where this is going, where it's coming from. Like people said, there are a lot of people that make a livelihood off of TikTok. Me personally, I could be totally wrong because I don't know where this is going. I can't see them getting rid of it. Reason being is that that's a whole other tax income that the government will be shutting down. And I just can't see the U.S. Not taking anybody's money. I just can't see it happening. So that's my spill. That's my whole thing. The TikTok thing. Now, when it comes to Haiti, that is a sad situation that's going on with that as well. Like people said, I do believe that the white supremacists are always attacking Haiti, always embarrassing them, always doing something to them. I don't know who what's the guy's name? Barbecue is. This is my first time hearing of him. I do know that the Haitian government do subject these people. They're tools of white. They are usually tools of white supremacists. Now, as far as Barbecue, I don't know what's his angle. Is he really for the people? Is he going to liberate and provide justice for his people, the Asian people? I really wish them the best. If that's so. If not, and obviously we wouldn't want him in here. So I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from as well. And it's very interesting, and I'm very interested in seeing and curious in seeing how the whole thing pans out. I'm really curious about it, and I wish them the best. Now, the last thing. What was the last thing we talked about?
The race baiting.
Yeah, so the race baiting thing. Brother Moku on that topic actually took all the words that I want to say right out my mouth. I do know, just as he said, that Tariq did coin the term, but I was never really sure what it meant in regards to the white supremacists. To me, coming from the white supremacist mouth, it always sounded like someone who's calling out white supremacy. If that's the case, then yeah, we need more of it. Someone who, that's what they call complains about it. Yeah, we need some more of that too. I'm with it. Anything that will provide racial justice for us, especially for us here in America, I'm with it. I think it's just another term that they come up with to downplay or to make something that we're doing, give a condescending name to something that we're doing. As what they do with a whole lot of other things.
Real talk. I'm gonna tell you when I started hearing about the term race card was when I was in high school and you had the O.J. Simpson case coming on. All of a sudden, they started talking about Johnny Cochran was playing the race card. I'm like, what the hell is a race card? So the race card pretty much was anytime, and whenever you hear them saying the race card, it's always referring to a black person, So even the race baiter thing, most of the time and I've heard a few times they've mentioned they've thrown it like Fox News ways, but most of the time they'll mention whenever they talk about a race baiter, it's always a black person. Whenever you talk about pulling the race card, it's normally always a black person as well too. Occasionally they'll say, okay, well, Fox News is race baiting, trying to get the the far right wing guys on their side and stuff like that. But normally when they're talking about race car and when they're talking about race beta, they normally talk about black people. So I think that's how Tariq went ahead and flipped it, and he said foundational Black American race beta. So, because when people when he posts stuff and stuff like that, a lot of times, you'll see the comments, people say, well, you're a race beta, whatever. And my thing is like the whole concept of race didn't even come from black people. So they're sitting up here saying black people playing the race card and your race beta and stuff, when you're the one that actually came up with the entitled, the whole system, the name, everything behind it, the one drop rule, all this stuff you're talking about. And the simple fact that when black people mention something or if something doesn't go your way, like the O.J. Simpson trial, because I mean, to that day, Johnny Cochran died, he was detested. O.J. Simpson was detested. But Johnny Cochran, they felt that he weaseled his way. He weaseled O.J. Simpson up out of there. And hell, even the lead attorney initially, Robert Shapiro was going to try to get O.J. Simpson to take a plea deal almost, and he even came up, from what my understanding, he even came up with the idea of trying to talk about the actual police and stuff like that and the racial aspect. But Johnny Cochran, the way he was able to massively work it and do what he did, that even pissed Robert Shapiro off as well, too. Robert Shapiro was even pissed off about how he was able to go ahead and do it, because don't forget, Cochran also replaced Robert Shapiro as a lead attorney. Had O.J. Simpson not changed lawyers and had he kept Robert Shapiro, he most certainly would be in prison to this day. He'd have been in prison from 1995 all the way up until now. So the best thing he did was to go ahead and switch lead attorneys and let Johnny Cochran go ahead and take over the show. I see my girl Trouble's up here. Trouble, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, Newstoter, not a whole lot. Shout out to everybody in the space, WPI, Brother Mo, Original, everybody up in the cut. I see Black Majority Space and Ray. Everybody, I'll be here all night long. Richard Pryor, calling names. That's mine, baby. Just sit it over. Just sit it over there. I'll give it in a minute. Put me a little pep in that. All right, word, sit right there. Sorry. I can get my grub back. Let's see. Topics of the night. I'll get Toter. You always be reading my mind. You kind of work my nerves a little bit, but go ahead and speak your thoughts, brother. Because you speaking minds. Shoot, I just need to just transfer my. Definitely don't speak. As far as the Haiti situation goes, I've always felt the same way Fatima felt, like they just want to spank Haiti a little bit. They don't want any more Negroes coming over here, and they're not Negroes, but they don't want any black colored folks coming over here that's going to already be as militant as the ones they already got. Haiti is a country full of people, black folks that they could never control in that way, who showed them that they were willing to come up against their systems. And that's why DeSantis right now is calling the National Guard to help him curb the amount of Haitians that could possibly be pouring into Florida over there. You notice that they always assign violence and everything to the black immigrants, but never the non-black immigrants, or the one who could easily assimilate or look like them. And so I think that's kind of sad in a sense, because it's already been shown that the majority of the violent immigrants coming over here are not necessarily the black ones. Yeah, you got some black ones coming over here that's cutthroat like a mug too, and them Haitians are cutthroat. But for the most part, what we see is, the Venezuelan ones, the Mexican ones, the Cuban ones. And so it's weird to me that DeSantis is calling for the National Guard specifically for the Haitians. The unrest that's going over there, I believe somebody in Tariq's space the other night was saying that they had been stopping their cash apps in the beginning after their original leader had been killed, and from sending his wife funds and monies. And so they weren't allowing those funds to go through. And then shortly after that, they tried to accuse her of having something to do with her husband's murder, which I felt like was a setup, but I'm not there, so I don't know. It's just a theory in my mind that they're trying to make it seem like she had something to do, but you never know. The unrest that's going up over there, as far as what I was reading about the humanitarian aid, I feel like that's a farce, because you all continually find billions and billions of dollars to send to Ukraine for humanitarian efforts. You find money to send to Israel for humanitarian efforts. So it's weird to me that you say you need donors to donate because the humanitarian aid and funding is drying up for those over in Haiti. You don't intend to help anybody over in Haiti because you want to punish Haiti. You want to garner and snatch up these newfound resources, whether it's oil or a brother had mentioned, and I'm going to botch the name, but iridium or some other type of alloy or something that's valuable over in the land over there. Ever since the Clintons was in office, they've been sending people over there to basically destabilize the country, and humanitarians have been found to be fiddle-faddling and molesting the children over there. So nothing that they do when it comes to Haiti, to me, brings on anything humanitarian-ish, and it's always the opposite of it. And so when you ask the question, why should we be concerned about Haiti, is because, regardless of the talks that we continually have on here in respect to other nations of Black people, I still hold love in my heart for my Black people on a global level. What they do to them is what they intend to do to us. And we don't have to be cake for anybody and run out there if you don't want to, but you better be mindful. You better pay attention, and you better look at the playbook, because in some ways it absolutely will affect us here, because they're practicing and experimenting on others, and we should pay attention, and we should still some amount of love and concern in our hearts for that situation. That's not to say that we have to deal with the insidiousness and the backlash that it comes from them vexing us specifically as Black Americans, but that's also to say, to pay attention to our government's BS at the same time. So I'm just going to keep my eye on the situation, and know that my government's doing some underhanded stuff in a Black nation, because it is a Black nation and because it's something there that they want. As far as the barbecue guy go, there's been good reports about the brother. There's been bad reports about the brother. But as far as the news that we get here, the majority of it is propaganda coming from our own news sources. I don't trust anything that they say about the brother over there. I've never known any gangbangers to do any videos or do any interviews. So them trying to make him seem like this badass, gangbanger. What gangbanger does interviews? And when he's doing his interviews, even though he's speaking in his own language, what he's saying is real talk. From a social point of view, you cannot have leaders over here that's giving monies and giving land and resources to these outsiders while your people over here are suffering. And if that's what he is trying to reverse, then that puts him more on the righteous side, regardless of his tactics. I don't know what his tactics is with his own people, but then we have our own set of coons over here that I to a degree wish we could, drop squad and have some tactics on. So maybe his tactics, if you say, well, he got his name because he's killing his own people, he's barbecuing them. Maybe he's barbecuing the coons that's willing to sell their own people out. I'm taking notes. That's all I'm saying. And so that's how I feel. Go ahead, Toro. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I thought you was through. That's why. My bad. But if you want to touch up on the race baiting thing as well, too, feel free.
Yeah, as far as race baiting go, like DJ always calls it, that's the reverse Uno card. And you said it very well when you said that, anytime Black folks, we speak out on something or we call something into the light, it's always used as a negative. We're not supposed to defend ourselves, and if we compare this situation that you all are all of a sudden outraged about to another incident dealing with you all that you weren't outraged about, then here comes that reverse Uno card, and here's all of a sudden, you're race baiting. No, we're not race baiting. It's just that we don't have the time or the propensity to live with rose-colored glasses on. We are straight, no chaser kind of people. We don't have the time to be dog whistling to you. So when we say what something is, we say it straight with no chaser. We say it for what it is. Whereas you all like to dog whistle and pretend that this is not exactly what it is when we're looking at it and seeing it exactly for what it is. See, you all like to live with lies and tell yourselves lies and stay there, and we don't live that way because our reality dictates that we cannot live that way. So you can call it reverse racism. You could call it race baiting all day long. Like you said, you all created the whole idea of race, just like the whole crabs in a bucket and a barrel type thing. Well, who created the goddamn bucket? Who created the barrel in order for us to be crabs being held inside that bucket? You all created it. But you want to call another group of people out for recognizing it. And so, and with the TikTok ban, I feel like, okay, you say the people were spying. Well, I feel like you all just want to spy. You figured out how they was able to spy, or maybe they're not spying, but that's one of the reasons why I don't have a TikTok. It's because you scared me up with they stealing your intellectual property. They stealing your, and I never got a TikTok account because of that. But what I notice is the youth is not on Facebook. There's not a lot of youth as far as 20 something, the college students and below. There's not enough of that demographic even here on Twitter a lot of times. They're on TikTok. And you all are really trying to get to the youth. You really want to control the minds of the youth. You really want to indoctrinate the youth who you haven't been able to reach because they got platforms to themselves like TikTok. They've been producing information. Older folks have been producing information. And Rella made a good point the other night in the space, which she said that the information that's being taken and being scrubbed from Google can't be scrubbed from TikTok. So it's being shown on TikTok, and you can find those videos of the stuff you're taking off of Google and other platforms over there on TikTok. So you want to be able to control the narrative in all areas, but as long as TikTok is being owned by somebody that you cannot control, like you control the people of Facebook. But then there was an article the other day saying, well, they wasn't 100% sure if they wanted to ban TikTok because that would give rise to Facebook. And they were trying to keep Facebook quelled down. You know, they finally got, Facebook right where they want them. But if they take away TikTok, it could possibly make them rise up on. It's like you said, Toner. It's a whole lot of moving parts. I don't know if that was Brother Muko that said that, but it's a whole lot of moving parts. And just pay attention, my people. That's all. Just pay attention, as Brother Black Majority always says. Keep your head on a swivel. I land.
All right. Thank you, Trouble. Let me go ahead and Old Dirty, your new speaker. We'll let you come up here. Then we get the Quadil. We'll get the Fahima. DJ, Brother Moku, y'all hold it down for me for 1 second.
Go ahead, bro. Old Dirty Chinese restaurant was good, man. Wu-Tang.
What's good with your family?
All good. Jersey in the building. What's up?
To the room.
Hey, you on a Bluetooth, bro? You on a Bluetooth? Get off.
You can't hear me?
You in the Matrix, like you got the robot. What's going on? Drop down and come back up.
We're around. All right.
Yeah, drop down, come back up. Hey, go ahead, Fahima, real quick, and then Kwame. Fahima, you there? Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, I'm on a double mute. Okay, yeah, just very quick. I want to agree 1,000% with the sister who spoke earlier, and just add, if you just look at how the U.S. Overthrew Aristide, and you have a situation where they took this man out of power, the only Democratic elected, loved by the people president. You also look at how so-called UN peacekeepers spread cholera in Haiti. And it's really America's foreign policy that is wrecking havoc throughout these countries. And to a large extent, which actually fuels this immigration stuff. Because if you have them destabilizing these countries, then what ends up happening is people tend to flee. And I'll just land there. Thank you for allowing me to make the comment.
You're welcome, sister. Hey, go ahead, Kwa, for sure.
Just wanted to come back on and continue on the TikTok and Haiti situation. I saw a video earlier where this one TikTok influencer was saying that out of all the social media platforms he has, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, there's only one. TikTok is the only platform that bans them from saying, from talking about certain entities, certain agencies, like the CIA and stuff. He was showing how anytime he mentioned the CIA in one of his videos on TikTok, how it always get banned. And he showed that all the other videos that he had mentioned them on, they were just left alone. But the rest of them, with the other social media platforms, they were never taken down. So I also saw that. I also found that interesting too. And then he went into the whole thing of how a company that was formed by the CIA owned TikTok, that was trying to own TikTok and all this other stuff. So it was an interesting video. It was an interesting video. How true is it? I don't know, but it's definitely worth looking at and listening to. Also, the stuff that's portrayed on TikTok is not the same stuff that's portrayed in China and stuff. The content material that we consume over here is completely different. In fact, over there in China, they have a timer on their apps. Like it shuts off. So certain content material is shut off after a certain time period. So that's also something that's very interesting and people should be looking at as well. Maybe those two things could shed some light or give us some more insight on as to what's going on with this. I want to ask a question about Haiti. Right? I mean, we know the devastation and everything that's going on there. But my question to the room is, do we know if any of the so-called rich or those few families or those foreign families over there, do we know what's going on with them during this crisis?
They fled, bro, because the one prime minister that was left over there, he pretty much fled, went to another country. So he exiled right now. On that note, and then you said, I think someone from the CIA owns TikTok. China owns TikTok. It's from a parent company called ByteDance, and this is why the American government got a problem with it, because all information from any Chinese company must be funneled through the CCP. So that's the Chinese government right there. So even though ByteDance is a Chinese company, and even though the owner or creator of TikTok is not even Chinese, it's just that it's stationed there for whatever the reason. So I don't know why he just don't give it up, but he's not going to do that because he's an informant himself. So all you really got to do is go over to C-SPANs and all that other stuff and look at these videos or these congressional hearings that they have of having these social media like Zuckerberg, TikTok, X, whatever, Elon there, and they all testifying, but they're not asking the right questions to force them to give up the actual right information. Now, Trump was right about banning TikTok. Here's the reason why. Obviously, we understand this information thing. They can cause disinformation from across the board. China been our enemy for a long time, and even though they're not the enemy of black people, unfortunately, we're Americans. So white folks started it. We involved. You feel what I'm saying? That's like me starting a beef with someone else, and then someone come hit you, not even understanding what the hell you got hit for. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep our head on the swivel. And as far as the race baiting thing, I guess I'll get back to that. But go ahead, though.
Oh yeah, just letting you know I'm back too. But go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. There was something I was gonna say too about the TikTok, but let Old Dirty go. Let the Old Dirty go because his phone got messed up. Go ahead, Old Dirty.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, much better, bro.
All right. As far as the TikTok, I kind of think we kind of getting that syndrome, like when you find out your mother was the reason your father wasn't dead all your life, and then you don't want to listen to your mother no more. like we know that our government is corrupt, but you know some things they be right about. Some of our officials they right on about something. Can't throw out all the information they give. So so you was right on with that, DJ. But to talk about Haiti, I think we see the play that they running with these Venezuelan South Americans. You know, the reason they sent them back the first time was because they're doing all these things in steps. You know, you see that man Barbecue, whatever his name is, he's been photographed several times pulling out his Freemason chain. And you know, now that he's in power, he's creating havoc over it. So what's the thing? Humanitarian aid. Isn't that the reason why these other people coming over here? This is saying he don't want
Your phone going to
Yeah, your phone breaking up.
Your phone breaking up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, whatever that position is, hold it right there.
All right, so Eric Adams said something I'm not quoting him verbatim, so forgive me. He said something about New York City is the Port-au-Prince of America or something like that. No, that's a whistle to just go ahead and ship it, just like they be doing from Texas. And they're going to use this as a and they're going to bring it up for speculation. But these people are about to show up. They're about to show up in mass. And, you know, that's what I think about Haiti. As far as the race,
Your phone, it's your phone.
You can't hear me now?
Yeah, your phone, it keeps coming in and it'll start breaking up.
But you can hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, so let me just land it. Like I said, the Haitians, they're coming. And like I want to make it known, I don't got no problem with the Haitians or any other West Indies. As long as you ain't a cool, you ain't under that hypnosis.
Yeah, your phone bad, bro. Your phone, bro.
Yeah, your phone. You may have to restart your phone. Check for updates. Yeah.
X updated, Lars, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Let me land right there.
Real quick, let me read a comment off of YouTube, and then I'm not sure who was next. Because I did Fahima and did Quadir go.
Yeah, they both went for a quick second. Let Original get in there real quick. And,
Okay, well, let me read this comment real quick. It says, Nightfall says, he say TikTok is going because while there are a few of us on it, the majority of TikTok has been a haven for swirlers, divestors, and white supremacist apologists. So that's his personal opinion about it as well, too. Dark Kent says, despite my issues with Uncle Sam, I think I might agree with the ban on TikTok due to the potential of tracking your info. Let's be for real, y'all. A lot of these social medias are selling people info. So it's not just TikTok, too. And I know it's a little different when you got a foreign entity, but a lot of them, that's how you get spammed with all these emails and stuff like that. They be selling your information and stuff like that as well, too. So Original dropped down. Let's see if Original will come back up.
Yeah, he did now. You're right.
No, he's back. For real? I don't see him.
Oh, his hand up, right? Y'all see him.
You see him?
He must drop down again. Yeah, he dropped down.
The space is fucking exactly wow. Yeah, exactly. Now I had to drop it, come back up and stuff.
Okay, let's see if he's gonna come back. Give him a second. I'm sure he'll come back up. I see him requesting right now, guys. Before he comes up, let me say this right here. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, get you a membership on Newstoter.com. Get your membership. It's up in the Jumbotron. I'm not sure because there's a lot of stuff up in the Jumbotron now, but it should be up there somewhere. I'm not sure where it's at, but it's up in the Jumbotron with the actual Newstoter membership. I think it's in the middle of the Jumbotron. So if you guys have not, definitely go ahead, click that link. Go ahead. It takes maybe a minute to set up a profile. Go ahead, and we have cheap membership plans for as low as $1.75. You can become a monthly contributor to Newstoter.com platform. So please think about that. Think about supporting Black-owned media. Also, if you have not had a chance to do that, you can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, Newstoter. If you do not have a Venmo or PayPal, we have that up in the Jumbotron. Same for my people over there on YouTube, guys. You can support us. You see the actual link on the actual screen to the actual customer portal where you can become a member. Also, you can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, Newstoter. And of course, the Venmo and PayPal is in the description. Let me go ahead and get to Original. Original, how you doing tonight?
Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, what is the thing about the barbecue? I don't know. I missed that one. I don't know what this thing about the barbecue.
Yeah, the guy who took over Haiti, his nickname is Barbecue. That's not his real name, but.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess
okay, I
I don't know if you need me to fill it in, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. Yeah. What's going on in Haiti? I mean, they don't like seeing people that look like us suffering anywhere. And like other people have said, these white folks want that iridium and other mineral that's over there in Haiti. And I think Haiti has the largest iridium supply in the world, and they will do whatever it takes. And don't get it twisted. I saw the news this evening. They were showing some people over there. They was like at an orphanage and stuff. I think those are nothing but just undercover stretch eyes trying to.
Hey, Original, your phone going in a robot mode too. Hey, Original, your phone going into robot mode. Robot. Yeah, you're doing a robot, bro.
I'm sorry. I think it's something wrong with the service because my phone been acting up the last several days too, and I think it's several people.
Updates. Operating system apps. Twitter updated again last night, y'all. So check for updates. Restart your phone.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Nah, you in the Matrix robot, bro. You might want to drop down again. Check for updates. Restart your phone, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's been going on, but they having some issues. Check with updates. Everybody in the space, guys. If you're speaking, if you're gonna come up to speak, definitely check for the updates. We had some issues yesterday in the space as well too, so we had to go to DJ. He had to create a space so we could even do the actual broadcast last night. So I'm not sure what the issue is, but definitely if you're gonna come up and speak, before you speak, just check for updates because they did send an update out. I got the update today, so some of you guys may have gotten it yesterday or today or whatever. So just check if you plan on coming up to speak, and that may make a difference. I saw we had a couple speakers came up. EJ, old dirty. One of you guys want to speak until Original comes back up here, or you want to speak?
Can you hear me good now? I did the update. Can you hear me now?
That's you, old dirty.
Yeah, that sounds much better, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to be real because I spoke before. I think if we want to see kind of what's going on, even though it's already playing out, we need to study what happened when all these people came through Ellis Island. If you have read up on it, welfare was created after these people came, and then the Depression happened. So it's kind of like how they're giving them money now. Like how they're coming up with all this money out of nowhere. The same way when we were going through the so-called Great Depression, where they had stole all the money out of the freedmen's banks and all that stuff, they found money out of nowhere to give welfare to these people. So it's like the same play happening, like history repeating itself, so that's it.
All right, appreciate you. EJ, did you want to speak?
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to address the topics in the room. The TikTok ban. I mean, basically what they try to do is get them to force it to sell it to someone else. Because I really don't see them trying to get rid of it. To be honest with you, it's a big money maker. With that being said, we'll see how it goes. But got to be real careful with that too, because it's going to play on a lot of First Amendment rights. And with that being said, the people have already spoken. A lot of people have already spoken about saying that they want TikTok to stay around. And so with that being said, that's going to cause a lot of unrest, civil unrest. I reckon, if you want to say it like that, I'm not sure how you want to say it. It's going to cause a lot of unrest within the general population that does use it. I don't have a TikTok, but I know people that love to be on TikTok all day, and kids love it as well. So it's a double-edged sword with it, because it does have a lot of things on there that are not kid friendly. But parents, you got to be on top of that with your kids. You don't let them be on there, but they got 6 months to figure it out. That's if it goes through the Senate and they go ahead and get rid of it. And then at that point they're going to end up trying to properly selling it if they do try to get rid of it. And Trump can be liable to have his own case via that through Facebook, because if they get rid of TikTok, then he got a good case on his hands to be able to sue the hell out of Facebook and or Meta, because I think they banned them off a lot of different apps. With it being said, and also with barbecue, is that his name? Barbecue, the fella down there. Look, I hate to see it going down like that, but at the same time, I want to sit back and just kind of like observe, because
you there? Hey, are you there? No, yeah. Your phone had broke up for a second, so we couldn't hear the last little bit you were saying.
What's the last thing y'all heard?
I heard you say something about you just wanting to sit back. That was the last thing I heard.
Yeah. No, so I was gonna say I just want to like sit back and observe and see what's going on, because one thing about me is I don't like to jump too quick at situations. And with that being said, we know that this country has a history of feeding us bullshit. BS, excuse my language. I know you don't like cussing on here. So we know this country has a real rich history of feeding us BS. So what it looks like could be what it actually is, or it could be the exact opposite. So if it's a revolution, then cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be just down there killing kids and women and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm not mad at them if they're taking their country back. But at the same time, I gotta have a plan going forward. So if that's what it is, now if they just going down there just doing some random reckless stuff, I'm not with that, of course. So with that being said, I'll land my plane. Y'all have a good one. I'm gonna go ahead to the gym.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you for coming in tonight. Let's go ahead and get to original. I know you was having some issues. Anybody else that wants to speak as well, too, guys? Like I say, we covering all the topics. If you guys also you want to talk about the race baiting as well, too. I know you guys have heard that. You've heard that phrase a number of times: race baiting and playing the race card and race baiting and everything like that as well, too. So definitely, if we trying to cover all three topics. We're talking about the U.S. Well, not. I'm sorry. We're talking about Haiti and the unrest there. We're talking about the TikTok potential ban, and just as EJ was saying, you're going to have a lot of people mad. You're going to have people upset as well too, because some people, like I said earlier, livelihood comes from off of that as well too. You got some people that's earning pretty good money off of TikTok as well too. So if you go ahead and you shut that down, and that was your way of making a livelihood for yourself, you're going to be upset about that as well too, especially if you got a pretty good following on that platform. So, and we're also talking about pretty much that's it, the race bait in Haiti and the TikTok ban. But let me go ahead and kick it to original. You got it.
Okay, let's try this again. I restarted my phone, but my phone, I checked my phone updates. What was it? Yesterday or the day before that. So my phone is updated, so I don't know what's going on. But let me just say this: as far as the race baiting, there's no such thing as race baiting. That's white folks trying to work some form of reverse psychology to get you. It's kind of like when the video of Rodney King, was exposed, and the white folks said, Well, you didn't see what you thought you saw. That's all this is. So there's no such thing as race bait, and that's just them. They want to be able to attack us, and we don't have anything to say. We don't have anything to say or do in return. So they can miss me with that race bait and crap. I don't even buy it. So that's just how I feel about that. And like I said with Haiti, I mean, I feel bad with what happened to Haiti, but this is like just like there is a global attack on people with black skin. Now, let's not forget when that earthquake happened in Haiti. Some Haitian, Mexico called itself welcoming Haitians to Mexico. There's an article that's online. It's called Mexico's solidarity only goes so far with Haitians. So what they did, they allowed them to come there, but they wouldn't give them work permits so they could, legally work. They had to figure out how to earn money, and some of them turned towards the illicit trade. So Mexico didn't do them any favor because someone had put something up that girl, what's her name? Selena said the lady that killed her was getting out of jail. And so some black person posted something. I said, well, look, black folks need to stay out of things that don't concern them. That has nothing to do with us. So then one Mexican tried to say, or Spanish-speaking person said, well, how can you feel like that? I'm like, y'all don't give a damn about black folks. Then I put up another article to them showing how black people in Mexico just got the right to vote in 2016. They were not even considered citizens in Mexico. So miss me with this garbage about this so-called black and brown alliance and all this other crap. No, that does not exist. So, and as far as the thing that's going on with TikTok, all this is I see the Chinese as being white people. Now, here's the issue. Now, Facebook, Instagram, Google, as well as YouTube, they are all banned in China. And they're banned in China because Google would not agree to certain restrictions that China wanted, that they didn't want their citizens having access to certain things. And so now you got, TikTok. And I say one of the main reasons that they're going after TikTok is because, make no mistake, the Chinese are not black folks' friend. I don't care what anybody say. They are not our friend. So Newstoter, it was like last year sometime, I think. There was a sister in a space that you held, and she said her granddaughter asked her something about black history. And she said, babe, where you hear about that? She said, on TikTok. And see, like right now, you have people like this guy, Mr. Imhotep, and a number of others. They are putting out quality content on TikTok. Now, Mr. Imhotep is on YouTube as well. But I will bet you, if TikTok is banned, they are going to start censoring what kind of information he and other people that are putting out quality content regarding black history and other information on YouTube. And that's what this is all about. It is about controlling the narrative, especially of the youth. And see what's going on with another thing that's going on with TikTok. A number of the youth, they are looking at this stuff from Mr. Imhotep and others, where they speak on true history. And when they go to school, they are confronting these teachers regarding what they are allegedly teaching them in school. So that's why they said that TikTok is a threat to national security. That I said, that is what it's all about. Because the one thing the white supremacists don't want, they do not want black people, especially the youth, knowing their true history. So that's what that is all about. So I just want people to understand that this is nothing but two groups of white folks fighting for control over the minds of the youth. That's what this is all about. Because and let me say this now. Like someone said earlier that Donald Trump wanted TikTok banned. See, in my opinion, Donald Trump is below it. Y'all remember when that transvestite and all this other stuff was going on, and all these crazy MAGA people went crazy over Bud Light? Well, guess what? Anheuser-Busch is giving Donald Trump campaign millions of dollars, and as well as someone that's in the higher up in the executive suite of TikTok. See, when Donald Trump came out and said, "Oh no, TikTok is okay. TikTok gonna counter Facebook." No, it's because they're giving him money. All Donald Trump doing is pimping people, and that's why I refuse to go along with Donald Trump. I'm not voting for him if he can't say what he's gonna do for black. I mean, yes, the border should be closed, and yes, all these people need to go back home. But if he's not talking reparations, because I saw how he took Ice Cube contract with Black America, called it the Platinum Plan, but turned it into as Tyreek says, an all lives matter. He had the word minority in there 3 times. So Donald Trump ain't no friend to black folks, and I'm not going to use my intelligence to to go out and promote this boy, because he don't give a. That's all. Y'all remember when he spoke in South Carolina to this group of black Republicans? But I would bet you money, not one of them said anything about reparation or any kind of concessions for us. Because trust me, the black Republican nor the black Democrat would say anything regarding us, but they want us to vote for their party, and they're going to go out and advocate for everybody except for us. And I'm just not going along with it. I mean, everyone has a vote. Do what you want with your vote. That is your choice. But don't get mad at me when I say I don't give a damn what happened to either one of them, because they both hate black folks. And let's not forget what Donald Trump did with that those Central Park brothers. No, I'm not. So I can't. Don't let me.
You breaking up, original? You breaking up, original?
Oh, okay. I guess it's just, man. I guess I said something.
Yeah, they got you breaking up again pretty good there. But appreciate your original. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what's going on with I don't know what's up with these spaces lately, but it's been some issues going on and stuff with the connection and everything else as well too. And original was putting it in. He was going in like he normally does as well too. So shout out to original. DJ, go ahead.
Phone updates and app updates are 2 separate things, original. So check for app updates, the Twitter updated, and restart your phone again. Excuse me, but we'll talk just to try to clarify some things that were said. And I see Miss President Nichols is coming up. So just to clarify, I guess, some things that were said. The race baiting in the world today, that's white people, and obviously the dying yaps of the world, and the prejudiced Mexicans that you see up here, mainly, that ain't black people. We only do the rebuttaling. But the problem, or the reason why they have to coin it as such, race baiting, is because when it comes to race and having a conversation about it, there's no one more intelligent than a Negro. You know what I'm saying? We done learned the game from Malcolm X. You understand what I'm saying? Carter G. Woodson, James Baldwin. Who more sharper than James Baldwin? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? You better have a beautiful mind and an intelligent mind, because in order to debate these people, they're not, they're not going to like you anymore moving forward, for the simple fact we added comical jokes to our debates. You know what I'm saying? And that's what really gets these people upset. They can't take it, especially when you start producing receipts and all this other stuff. So again, race just means a group of people. Black people aren't racist enough. We need to start being racist if we're going to call someone else racist. Now, the correct term for that would be is prejudice. If you don't like someone for whatever the reason, you know what I mean? race, as far as the word meaning to be against someone, it doesn't have a criteria dating more back than 150 years. This is why you need to keep multiple dictionaries laying around your house from different eras, different manufacturers. Webster's, Meridian added up. Keep the thesaurus on hand to know the cross reference of the word to use it in another phrase like antonyms, synonyms, homonyms, manner, and rhyming words. There you go. So that's 4 antonyms, synonyms, homonyms, and rhyming words. Get your words up. So Haiti, you know, I saw the Prince Hall chain, 2 old dirty, you know what I'm saying? And I saw that and I said, you know, I'm never gonna speak on that again. So moving forward, shout out to the Haitian homie Sapase. Hopefully y'all get it right. You know, I guess bless up the barbecue if you go do the right thing. But I don't think he is, because if you turn around as a former officer of the law, barbecue is an officer of law. He was some type of security guard inside of one of the consulates, or some type of you know, something in politics. He was a security guard, so, or a former cop. So you just turned around and let 4,000 inmates that have been accused of murder, rape, torture, whatever it is, robbery, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Let them out of jail. You see what I'm saying? So that is a problem, because all they're going to go do is go back to their victim and finish the job. This is why a lot of black women here in America say, hey, look, I was a victim and the police didn't do anything. They barely wanted to put a restraining order against this, you know, my culprit, or, you know, or the assaultee. And then you turn around and wind up that they like being taken for real. This happens to men and women too. You know what I'm saying? On both sides. Real shit. If you, excuse my French, you can look up the statistics. So, you know, shout out to Haiti, I guess, you know, hold your head. And I also been asking the question the last couple of spaces, because I've been up on the late night. Should black people in America, specifically us, because we are the descendants of the Harlem Hellfighters, we've been in every war, 1, 2, 3, added up, Gulf, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Vietnam, added up, you know what I'm saying? We was there, you know what I mean? Civil War, American Revolutionary War, we was there 1804 too, banging with the Haitians. So should we go back there now with all the infrastructure we do kind of somewhat have over here? We do got some resources, not a lot. I'm saying I think we could contribute and go over there and help them settle their democracy. But, you know, that's up to, you know, us as a collective moving forward.
I want to.
That might not be the easiest thing that.
Let me finish this real quick too, just to go on the TikTok thing, and just you know, I know everybody want to speak, so I'm just trying to be quick. So the TikTok ban, Trump was right. Who built the cages, Joe? No rebuttal from Joe on that one. Also, the reason why you must not do business with China is because look how they treat their own people, and look how they treat other people around the world. China also has a heavy hand in organ harvesting. We never bring this up. So for all those that love black cinema and love black movies, I don't think a lot of y'all, especially y'all black women, really paid attention to they clone Tyrone. So spoiler alert, about to come up. If you ain't seen the movie, what was the number one thing Tyrone was kept overlooking when he went into the liquor store to buy liquor? That his homegirl Coco was missing, even though he was with her every day. The sign was on the wall, missing person. He go outside, get old head a drink, go ahead, put some in your cup. Coco right up there above the wall, missing person. You turn around, look on the street corner, there's that sign of a missing person right there. That's a black woman that's missing, but Coco was getting in the car with someone else. Why we ain't peeping this stuff? You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about organ harvesters, we know we ain't got money like that, but these rich Asians do. These rich white folks do. These Hispanics do. You see what I'm saying? Oh, who got the strongest genes? Everyone here in this room. So why ain't in the sense that we should be shutting China down? They steal our information. There's been so many reports coming out that China specifically has been stealing information that pertains to autonomous vehicles from Apple, Google, Microsoft, added up. China is also buying up farmland that is near our military bases, mainly in the Midwest. They also just recently got busted in Atlanta, Georgia, for $22 million worth of illegal weed. So you already know China, they spraying pesticides, chemicals, they spraying everything on the weed. And I don't want none of that weed, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to mess you up, you know what I'm saying? And especially being that cannabis is being legalized across the nation, you don't want some newbie getting a hold of some Chinese fentanyl weed. You know, let's talk about the fentanyl. It could create the precursor, meaning the pre-chemical that is needed to cause mix and to make fentanyl. But I don't even think that we should care about that as much either, because who the main ones dying off it? The white folks. Now all of a sudden it's an epidemic with drugs in America, but it wasn't no epidemic when in the 80s. And my aunt, my uncle, family members smoked out, cracked out, stealing stuff up from the other family, fighting another family. And nobody called the authorities and said, hey, look, we got a national crisis. You let us go to jail. You let us die off. You let us be still in jail. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our families still messed up, not recovered, not haven't been rehabilitated right. So I don't really care about the fentanyl coming in, because that's a white people problem. Straight up, I'm just being straight with y'all. From the evidence I see and the information I see, all you got to do is go Google Philadelphia, go look at Kensington Avenue and Philly. That's the hood. You know what I'm saying? Black neighborhood. But who on the strip getting high and doped up and leaned over? White people, yo. Yeah, there's a couple knackers out there, but it's mainly white folks, yo. Ever since the pandemic hit, you see the white folks, they came down out of their suburban neighborhoods in the mountains and came back into the hood because they realized, hey, that American dream wasn't all as cracked up to be. Black people could have told you that. So TikTok ban, yeah, I say ban it for the simple fact it's Chinese owned, Quadip, owned by a company called ByteDance. So you are a Chinese owned company. You are forced to give up your information of your company to the CCP government. It's not like here in America where you must be subpoenaed and have a warrant put out on you for whatever information that we need you to come into court. You have rights here. Over in China, you ain't got no rights. Either we kill you or you give it up, one or the other. Think about all the forced sterilization they done had in China, kind of similar to what they did over here to us. But this is the Chinese doing it to their own people. It was whites doing it to us. Let's talk about how they kept them people, Chinese folks, inside of their house when COVID hit and forced them to stay in there for months on end, years on end. Some people still in certain parts of provinces of China that ain't came out since COVID hit, yo. People done starved to death, died. Oh, man, look this stuff up. China is not your friend, yo. Ban these jokes. Now, I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I got a TikTok account, but I'm only over there for business. But my business doesn't consistently stay on TikTok. I got business on Instagram, Facebook, whatever other program, social app you could think of. So for those that are saying, oh, well, you know, my business is going to be over with, all this other stuff, that don't even make no sense to national security, because that's pennies in a bucket. That's one business. That's one business. It don't make more than Microsoft or Walmart. You know what I'm saying? It barely make more than Chick-fil-A. Let's be logical about this, black people. So if China letting all this, you know, original Imhotep, Mr. Imhotep, who's over here on X2, look him up. He right here on X. He had a law the other day. You know what I mean? So if TikTok is letting all this black information go through, because that's really what this is, the culture of America is black America. We already know that. So if they allowing the information to go through about history, everything that went on in this country, that's only because China want to embarrass America globally. But hold up, China, what about what you do to your Uyghur Muslim people? Those are your own Chinese people. You kill them, harvest their organ, sell their body parts, all this other stuff, all in the name of national security. Hey, isn't that inhumane? Where's the UN at? They don't care because they got paid off by China during the height of COVID, yo. Think about this, yo. The UN general, I forgot his name, the Indian Nagavavat cousin, he got swayed some bread. Because originally when the COVID first hit, he was going in on China. You know what I'm saying? Shh. Don't hear a peep out of this person no more. So ban TikTok. It ain't that dope. It's really silly. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing knowledgeable about TikTok that'll make you increase your knowledge. Just because you saw a video of some history, I could tell you the same thing personally if you just asked me. You know what I'm saying at this point in the game? So TikTok is just another business like any other business that can fail here in America. And that's why Obama will always forever be a BAN. Biatch, ass, N-word. You know what I'm saying? Because when the recession hit and all them businesses was about to get bellied up, go belly up, you bailed out Wall Street, but you did never come out bail out Main Street. So therefore, meaning it don't matter if Michelle Obama running for president, we'll never vote for you because of what your husband didn't do for us. Nothing. I'll land there.
All right. Let's go ahead and get to some of the speakers in here as well too, because I know some of them are having some connection issues as well too. So let's Miss Nichols was up here, but I don't see her up here. So let me get to Well, I did. Go ahead, Quadid, and we'll get to you, Dirty, and we'll get to you, Original, as well. Brother Moko, I ain't forgot you either, but I know some of the users are having some connection issues. But go ahead, Quadid.
Yeah. So just real quick, going back to the TikTok thing about that company I was talking about. So yeah, I was wrong. So the company I was talking about was Oracle, but back in the Trump administration, they had Oracle take over some of TikTok's usage data. So TikTok sold a minority stake in their usage data to Oracle. And from my understanding of some video that I've seen, Oracle was actually started from the CIA. How true that is, I don't know. But that's where my confusion was. And I want to talk about the Haiti thing and us helping people. Now, I don't believe that we should be helping everybody to the extent that we used to. We have a lot going on here with ourselves. Now, what I am in agreement with as far as helping is like doing like the minimum, meaning helping to the point where it doesn't put yourself in jeopardy.
Is anybody talking? Because I can't hear.
Yeah, you need to drop down because we got somebody speaking. Quadid speaking.
Drop down, old Dirty.
Go ahead, Quadid.
Yeah. So yeah, like I am like I do think people want to help. I think they should help, but not to the point where it puts themselves in a bad predicament because no one else comes to save us. And because the ancestors, but let's be real, a lot of those people were like our grandparents and great grandparents in the civil rights era. They've helped more. They've done more than enough. We had Black Americans talking about they want to go over to Ethiopia and help fight. We helped create the Ethiopian Airlines. Civil rights got the whole world being able to come here with our civil rights laws through the immigration laws came through the Civil Rights Act. We've done enough. Now, anytime now when we're helping people out, like for example, this whole Palestinian and Israeli thing, we got people losing their jobs over this, and are those people that they're defending gonna go come pick them up and give them a job? No, I think if you do want to help, because people gonna have hearts. People are gonna have hearts and do what they think that they're gonna do what they think is right. But if you do want to help, I don't think we should be going above and beyond, putting a cape on and jumping off the building, thinking we can fly like Superman. I think we got to be strategic and realize that there's limits to what we can do. I'm gonna end there.
All right, appreciate that. I'm gonna say this right here, Quadid, and I know people are saying, but you have to be realistic as well. Too, we talk about Haiti, being underneath the thumb of white supremacy and especially the Western world. Well, let's not forget for a minute that still applies right now. Who knows if the U.S. and the France what strings they pulling behind the scenes as well too. And it might not be that easy to get down there. I think if they're really gonna liberate themselves, they're gonna have to do it like they did back in the day, and it's gonna have to be the actual people on the island to actually do that. But make no mistake about it, everybody knows how much resources Haiti has on that island, so it's a must to go ahead and keep them disenfranchised as much as possible. The same way when black people were trying to, and I know you got some that were able to slip over there in World War II and go help the Ethiopians out, but it would not be the easiest thing in the world, I don't think, for Black Americans to get over there and actually to go ahead and lend a helping hand to Haiti, because I think that you have some colonial powers that's still behind the scenes, still pulling strings and everything else as well too. So I don't think it would be the easiest thing in the world. I understand that you may have some brothers or sisters that may want to do that, but I just don't know. Like I say, even if you look at West Africa right now and you look at those former French colonies, well, France still controls their damn economy. So France and the United States and who knows who else, who knows exactly how many Western powers are down there because they want to keep everything over there just crazy and this and that or whatever. Go ahead and put troops on it. Oh, well, we had to destabilize this and destabilize that. You know, every time you looked at and you had a Haitian president, somebody was getting knocked off. So, you know, this just can't be coincidence. You know, for they want to go ahead and make sure that people understand and say, you know what, these people are incapable of governing themselves. Now, you look at any black nation in the world, they're incapable of actually leading and actually taking care of their people and feeding them, providing resources and everything else, and being a first-rate country. So that's going to always be the actual talking points and why these places are going to be always just, you know, out of whack over there as well too, because it's not in the Western world's it's not the best thing for them for Haiti or any of these other predominantly black nations to become, you know, first tier nations in the world. Because for one, you're gonna lose resources. You're gonna pick up a competitor as well too, and they don't want that. They remember the history and everything else. So I just don't know how easy that would be for Black Americans. Even though Haiti, and I'm in Florida, Haiti is a jump skip away, you know. But how easy would that be, especially like I said, with all of the crazy stuff going down there and everything else as well too. And these people, if you know, who's supplying people and stuff like that with weapons? If these people are that dirt poor and this and that and everything else like that, who's supplying them with all these weapons and everything else as well? You got to think about that. So I think that
I agree. Like we don't know who's who at this point. It's still pretty early.
and I'm gonna say I got a sneaky idea of a couple nations I think that could be behind a whole lot of this craziness as well too. I mean, you'll never be able to prove it, but I kind of got a idea of a couple nations in particular that I think that, you know, that's taking part in the actual demise and been taking part since they actually won their independence as well too. So I just don't think it would be the easiest thing in the world to get down there and actually you know, go and actually lend a helping hand. And that's not to say, you know, that's not to say you won't have some brothers sneak off down there and do some fighting and stuff like that. But I think that it's really going to have to come from the people on the island. They're going to be the ones that's going to have to say, you know what, we just fed up, and you know, we'll take our lumps the best way we have to. I see we got Shy up here, Shay up here. You go ahead, Shy. Go ahead and unmute your mic, and then I'm gonna get to you, original.
Okay, thanks. Greetings, everyone. You know, I was thinking before I came in the room, because a lot of times y'all be having me thinking on my own and shit about shit that I should have.
Language.
Oh, language. This is what confused. Really though, bring this up. Confusing the we, the they. Because when I look at our condition and our situation from the beginning of us being here, how we got here, all the way till today, and I look at the we include ourselves. I hear my people talking about we gave Israel money and we did this and we did that. But why are we included in the money? Why are we included in all that money that is controlled by these companies, finance companies, Vanguard and BlackRock and Black something else, and all of these, the people that have the most people that have access to these trillions of dollars is white males, not black males, and this is the seat of the power. Yet we're saying we, and they're making policies and doing things that we didn't agree on. We didn't okay them sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. We don't even have a full seat at the political table. We don't have political power. We've got a vote. We can influence votes if we concentrate our people in whatever. It's going to be Republicans or Democrats, not Republicans, but Democrats. These are the issues. We struggle doing that. So why is it we? And then when I hear to talk about Haiti, they, when for me, I'm from Louisiana, my folks, I got possible Haitian, certainly Haitian cultural ties, but blood ties. Those people from Haiti and the Caribbean, they took them people from the same place they took my people. So for me, black people, I'm more related to West and Central Africa. I got more of a thing with them politically because of how they're treating those people there, my people there. They're treating the people in West and Central all over Africa, and how they're treating us. I think that white folks have clearly made their allies. France is more of an ally, it seems, to the United States than we are. And we will see how that plays out, because as this global alignments, global polarization happens, you'll see that we'll all be in one big NIGGA bag right in this country. And they're even saying that. I'm keep shouting this from the top of the trees. That bill H7311, that bill says countering the malign effects of Russia propaganda in Africa and in the United States among the African American diaspora. I think it says the African diaspora. So do you think they're separating Nigerians and Trinidadians and African Americans from each other? No, they're not differentiating. We're all, so that means they'll be monitoring us from Russian propaganda. I lost an uncle in the war, and a guy shot down over Germany. My uncle was a Tuskegee Airman. He lost his life fighting for what? So they could come back to the country and be treated as, less than probably immigrants from Mexico at that time. We're confusing the we with the they, but guess what? When that shit, when things break down and boil down, and you see what happened to the Japanese when the war broke out, and they put Japanese American citizens in prison concentration camps and took their land. These were American citizens. I want us to pay attention to that history, because that, and then what they did to their own selves in Nazi Germany. And we're talking about the we. We did this and we did that, and we're not included in the everything, all the good things, when our schools is all toe up from the flow up. I don't get it. We need to really get it together and really understand who our enemies are and who our potential allies are. I'm gonna land right there.
Okay, Sha, let me follow up with what you just said, and I know you were saying something that we were all putting the same NIGGIA bag. Well, here's the thing: we always said that. Now, the other black people that got over here, they were shocked to find that out, but we told them the same thing that you just said. We told them that over 100 and some odd years ago. For the minute they landed, they landed on American soil. We told them exactly how this country looks at them, how they're going to treat them, and what they think of them. They were the ones that had to actually come around to that understanding and whatnot. We've always said exactly who we are, knew who we are. When other black people came over to this country, we looked at them. We didn't care, hey, what nation you came from, this and that. We saw your skin, we saw your nose, we saw your hair, we saw your lips. We automatically assumed that, hey, you were one of us. You just had a different dialect and a different accent. So, we, Black Americans, were the first ones to, globally accept the black term. And we accepted it because, hey, perhaps we did not know exactly where we came from, what tribe, what nation, whatever, but we accepted the whole black thing. Everybody else was the one coming over here saying, hey, you know what? I don't know what you're talking about. I got a nationhood. I got a country. I got a tribe. I got this. I got that. So we, as black people, and I can tell you as a black Floridian whose family goes back to the late 1800s from the Carolinas that they moved here, we, even as a kid and in South Florida and stuff, and being around, learning, seeing exactly what a Jamaican was, what a Bahamian was, what this person was, or whatever, we grew up and looked at them as just being regular black people. It wasn't until we got older and stuff like that you, okay, well, this person came from here, this person came from there, they're different or whatever. We looked at them all as just being black. So we have always known that. And of course, we know that France looks at the United States looks at France and looks at Great Britain and any of them as more of allies, because they look at them as being white people. They've always looked at them as that. So what I'm saying is that the same way the black people back in the early 1800s in Haiti had to fight for their independence and fight for their lives, I'm saying that it's going to take them doing that again as well too. They're going to have to band together because at one point in time, when them damn French was down there on their behinds, you said they woke up one day and they looked around and said, you know what? We outnumber these people here. It's more of us, and we're tired of being damn slaves right here. They had an advantage. Them and all of the black people in the islands and even the black people in colonization had an advantage that the black Americans never, ever, 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 ever had in terms of being able to rise up. They outnumbered their masters. And not only that, they weren't in 13 states or 15 states or 20 states or whatever. They were on these little islands where they were the actual majority. And not only that, unlike General George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln and all the ones that was right here in the backyard where we were at, a lot of their colonial masters, even though they had their outposts over here in their territories, the biggest bases and stuff like France with Napoleon and stuff were 4,000-5,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. So that was also another advantage that they had. But here's the thing. It's to the point that everybody knows that they have these resources and everything like that as well. So if they want true independence, and I understand because I can remember the time from John Aristide and stuff in the middle school, and they had to get him up out of there because he was being threatened and this and that or whatever. All of the coups and everything that goes on. It's going to take the actual Haitians to actually rise up and actually take back their actual land. I mean, they can do it. It's not going to be easy. Because like I said, you and I, we both know that there are outside influences that control the politicians over there, that control the resources and everything else as well, too. But they're still going to have to, if they really want to get it, they're going to have to go ahead and get it as well, too. And I get what you're saying that, yeah, we as a people, we had no control over the actual, and you're right, white men run this country. We know that. We had no control in the United States giving money to Ukraine. We had no money with them giving money to Afghanistan and all of these other places throughout the world. We have absolutely no control of that. But I'm not exactly sure, what we can do exactly about that. Now, if you have an idea that you can say, hey, you know what, this is, as black people, this is what we can do to ensure that, hey, we can get a piece of this money and we can actually say, you know what, instead of you taking $40 billion to spend on Ukraine and spend on Israel, out of that 40 billion, you need to go ahead and give us 15, 20 billion so we can go ahead and work on these cities and stuff right here, these majority black cities and townships and everything else in the country as well, too. So, I get what you're saying. But like I said, we as black people in this country have always identified as being black, no matter what differences we might have had with other black people coming over here culturally being different than us. We still looked at them as black people. We didn't say, you know what, they ain't black or whatever. We looked at them as being black people. So, it's going to take them to go ahead and try to improve their situation as hard as it is. Same for the people over there in Central Africa, West Africa, East Africa, South Africa, where you're the majority and you got those resources and you got that young population. You are going to have to do it, because if you don't, the colonial powers that came over there and helped with the Western with the transatlantic slave trade and colonization are going to stick together like they always do, no matter how much they may hate each other, because they was at war with each other when they went over there and started slicing up Africa and stuff like that. But they say, you know what, we can put our differences aside and we can still go ahead and take what these people got over here. Same when they came over here as well, too. They was fighting and killing each other left and right over here. But they can always sit down and come to the table and say, you know what, I don't like you, you don't like me, but let's go ahead and do business together. So, black people are going to have to do that same way in these countries as well, too, if they want to go ahead and thrive the same way these people are thriving. Trouble, go ahead and who was the next? Was it Trouble? Quadid, did you already go? Original was up here, but he must have dropped now. Go ahead, Trouble, you got it.
Okay, you pretty much said everything I wanted to say, Toda. Shout out to you. I'm gonna come and land my plane next to yours. But just to add on, I don't know why when we have these conversations that we always get, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but we always get you Pan-Africanists that step in and start with the finger wagging. And this conversation really wasn't even about Black Americans vexing other nations of Black people. I don't know if you just got to the space or just happened to hear something that made you go there. So in reference to the we and the they, sometimes when we're speaking within our language, we know that when we're saying, well, we give, this person that, or we did A, B, and C, we're actually talking about the they, because we as Black people don't have the power to give anybody anything or take away from anything from anybody. So it's a little aggravating and a little irritating every time we get a Shaw or somebody like that inside the room that automatically starts wagging your fingers. So in reference to the we and the they, what we need y'all to do is to go to they, meaning the non-Black Americans, and have these same conversations about how they need to align with us, the we, to make things a little bit better on the Black side. But you all don't have those conversations with they. You come and wag your fingers at we. And we need you all to cut that out. Stop it. Stop sitting on this app, stepping inside of a room, and all of a sudden acting like it's we, the Black Americans, who are vexing these other nations, when real talk, we're just now giving them a response to all of the decades and years that they've been here vexing us. Because we, Black Americans, have always had love and affinity and wanted nothing more than to work with these other groups of Blacks, but it wasn't received back. Y'all gonna stop acting like, y'all gonna stop forgetting that part and stop acting like it didn't exist, because you got a couple of them in your family, because you come from an area like Louisiana who happens to have a certain lineage tied to them on the other side. And now you think that because your personal experience means that all of us have the same one. It's not like that, and you need to stop doing that. Go to they spaces and have the conversation and say, hey, our Black American brothers, they willing to get down with y'all, but they not willing to take. They are not willing to take the disrespect, and they gonna give you that work. When we see that, when they see that work, when they see you vexing them just as well, you're not gonna have it one way. And I don't understand what it's gonna take to get y'all to understand that we are not getting ready to take disrespect. You can raise your hand too, baby girl. We're not getting ready to continue to take disrespect. And I don't care if it's coming from white supremacists or if it's coming from other Black nations or people. We're going to call it all out. And you're going to have to, you could deal with it or you could not deal with it. You could like it or you could not like it. You could live with it. I don't care. But don't expect for us to keep taking that BS and you're not addressing them in their rooms, telling them the same things. And I know you're not addressing them in their rooms because you've already said in a space not long ago that when you go in their rooms and you try to address it, they kick you the hell up out of there. They don't keep you on the stage. They don't keep you in the room. They don't allow you to come in there and kumbaya and tell them to stop vexing us. So you don't go over there on the other side. But you're not going to keep coming over here to us and want us to humble ourselves in the face of disrespect. We're not getting ready to do that. We have always shown that we're willing to work with anybody who's willing to work with us. We'll build with whoever is willing to build from us, but you're not getting ready to sit here and suck us dry, lead us to a well and drown us when we get there. That's not what's about to happen. And if it was happening, it stops. It's going to stop. Now you can go thing one and thing two with the Pan-Africanists.
Okay, before we get to them, let me go ahead because they spoke. Let me get to Ray real quick, and then I'm going to get the shot. I'm going to get to Fahima, but shout out to Trouble. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's going on, everybody? I just want to say this real quick. So I was looking online at lives of TikTok since we're talking about race baiting in today's world. The girl, Kay Lee, the white girl that got into the fight, I don't know her last name. They've raised $158,038 in 6 hours, and basically saying that the other, that she was attacked and she was in the wrong, and it's just Black people going around just beating up folks. I just wanted to bring that to the attention because I know you had a space about that, talking about it. I just wanted to just see how on code and how quickly they can raise money, because initially it was only supposed to be for $150,000. Now it's up to $200,000, and I've heard they're gonna try to get as high as $1 million for this girl to pay for her medical bills for a fight that she started.
Real talk, Ray. You know, and we talked about that, like you say, and we talked about how quick these people could raise money and stuff like that too. So that's not the least bit surprising. And none of us want to see the girl seriously injured or hurt anything like that. We all said that before. We want to see the young lady make a full recovery as well too, but I also don't want to see the young sister go to get in the jail time as well, either for a fight. You know that hopefully the girl can walk away from it and she can be okay. So shout out to you for going ahead, Ray, and sharing that with us as well too. I'm gonna kick it to Sean. I'm gonna kick it to Fahima. Sean, go ahead and mute your mic.
Hey, hold on a second, Sean. I got to piggyback.
Wait, hold on real quick. Let's let the speakers get in it real quick, and then we'll get right back to you, DJ.
Yeah, because I could see us going off into the other conversation, which is important. We were talking about that earlier, but let's really get real with this, because what the sister said, she made some very valid points, and I think the reason why we have different perspectives a lot of times has to do with generational and personal. Like what my personal experiences were could be very different than hers, and that could be based on location and generation. So I'm 61 years old, right? Probably older than most people in here. And in my experience from the San Francisco Bay Area is that it was mixed. I never did get this in general. When I talk about my friends, I come from a, basic, not even barely a middle class African American community, right? Grew up there, lived in the same house. So I was able to have stable community, stable life. But my experiences had been mixed, in which most African Americans were not really concerned with black folks from other places and that whole thing. Most of us, and those of us who did have any connection or paid any attention were those who were in proximity to black folks from other places, and their interest brought them into proximity. The interest for me had been around art, culture, and around community organizing. This is my personal experience. When I traveled out and when I heard stories of other black folks that were interested in my stuff that I was into, these were places like DC, New York, Los Angeles, where else? Places like Chicago, Detroit. These other places like that, there were other groups of people who were interested in community building, culture, African dance, organizing, these types of things. And in my experience was that it was African Americans, African Caribbeans, continental Africans, not a lot, but it was definitely a mix of people, mostly African Americans. Weren't even all Pan-Africanists. Some were Afrocentrists. You guys don't talk about that. Really, that's a whole kind of different thing, because I grew up in this Renaissance 80s period where it was a lot of that Afrocentric stuff going on. So there's that consciousness or woke group. They didn't necessarily consider themselves Pan-African. So my experience was that most African Americans were doing their thing. They didn't have big food drives and raising monies for newly Africans that came in. They didn't have welcoming parties where they greeted Caribbeans and Africans and was saying no. And I like this sister from New York. I think her name is Mama Flips. Somebody like Mama Flips. She says, we didn't care about Africans. We weren't concerned with them. They didn't impact our lives. We didn't dislike them. We didn't necessarily like them. It was just black folks. So this is, for me, that was a representation to me of how we dealt with folks from other places. When I hear you guys talking, it was like we welcomed them and we included them in all of these. I didn't see that. But again, it's a personal experience thing. Also has to do with where I come from, my location, geographic. Also has to do with my generation, because I noticed as the years went on, less community building, less interest in cultural, international kind of African, Caribbean cultural stuff. It became less and less as time went on. So I saw a build-up. And not only that, though, also the Afrocentrism starts shrinking up. The community building starts shrinking up. Like, you didn't see as many people active in it. And when you didn't see as many people active in it, You start to see these programs that people like Leonard Jeffries in New York and other people who set these Black studies programs in these colleges and high schools, they start going back to being normal, right? So a lot of the gains that we made in education and stuff, because I was big in education, we started losing those things as time went on. And as well, then there's Black Twitter. So if you're talking about Black Twitter and me going into rooms where I'm talking about not even about African American, African or Caribbean relationships, it's completely about some specific thing that they don't, like, or they don't agree with my position on, and it's not, most of the time it isn't about African American. It's nothing about African American. So I think that this, to me, brings a little clarity in terms of we welcome everybody and we were all open arms. Most of us didn't care one way or the other, in my experience. And that's not a diss. That's just what it was. I'll land right there.
Okay, real quick, and Fahim, I'm going to give it to you, but I'm going to say something real quick. Yeah, when Africans and Caribbean people moved into the United States, we didn't throw a parade for them. We didn't throw a parade. We didn't hold a festival or a celebration. Just like here in Florida, when Black Americans from Georgia or South Carolina moved in the neighborhood, and we knew they were new people, we didn't sit up here and we didn't throw a parade for them. We didn't, we didn't paint the town up for them. It was just Black people moving into the neighborhood. Now we didn't when the Caribbeans and Africans and everybody moved into the neighborhood, we wasn't chasing them with pitchforks either and spraying and putting graffiti on their houses and stuff like that as well too. So yeah, because we didn't sit up here and we didn't have a parade with them and this and that or whatever. At the same time, we played with them at school. We played with them after school and stuff like that. We were cool with them. I was cool with a number of people from the Caribbean, good friends and stuff like that. So simple for the fact that, hey, we didn't sit up here and, we didn't have like a Macy Day parade to welcome in the new neighbors and stuff like that. Oh yeah, this gentleman here is from Nigeria and this one is from the Bahamas. Let us all welcome them. No, we didn't do all that. We didn't do that with other Black people. And when Black people from the South moved up north and had people up that had a few family members up there, they didn't welcome them like that. Or when they moved out west, that's just part of life. At the same time, you were talking about, I know you're talking about Afrocentrism and everything else like that. Let's be for real. In terms of the actual love affair with Africa really exploded for Black people in this country in the 1970s. From the Afro to the dashiki to all the African love and stuff like that. Let's be for real. There was one Black group in the world that was really promoting this whole African culture type thing. Now people can say, well, that was prevalent in Jamaica too, and it was prevalent. No, it exploded over here in the United States. Black people in this country was the one that pushed it. From movies to everything else. Black people, the music, you name it. Black Americans were the ones that actually pushed the Afrocentrism more than Jamaica, more than Haiti, more than Brazil, more than any of these other places. So to sit up here and say that, well, in my neighborhood, we just wasn't crazy. We didn't care. Yeah. I lived next to a lot of people that were Black American. They moved in the neighborhood. I didn't care either. But if I saw him, hey, man, what's up? What's your name? Oh, yeah. Okay. What's going on? Yeah. We normally play ball over here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll be there. And that was it. We hung out. We became friends or we didn't become friends. It was just that simple, So it was no ill will. No, when you say, damn, it's a damn Haitian that moved in the neighborhood. Oh, Lord, we got us a damn Jamaican over here. What them Jamaicans doing? I can't stand them damn Jamaicans. Oh, so it just, that's just part of life, like I say, but we did. And we always looked at ourselves as being Black and we looked at them as being Black. And we weren't talking about at that time delineating or anything else like that in the 80s, in the 90s. Oh, like, yeah, I got to delineate myself from this Nigerian dude right here or nothing like that. So, I'm just being real. Personally, my family, and I had a great aunt the kids over there, and I know you said we didn't raise funds for them. We didn't raise funds for that. They didn't do this. Like, yeah, they didn't raise money for us either. They ain't say, you know what, them Negroes over there, you know, they living in Jim Crow. Let us raise some money for them and send it to them and help them out. Let us go up there and help. Let us help pay for the march on DC or anything like that. You didn't hear any of it. They weren't taking funds and sending the stuff over here. But I did have a great aunt that used to send the funds. She had a couple adopted kids over there in Africa that she was sending money to and stuff like that. So
say that we did too.
So let me go ahead. I'm gonna kick it to Fahima, and then we'll get to the hands.
Yeah, I had a similar experience as the brother. In fact, we're both in the same age demographic. I came of age in the 80s and 90s in the era of Afrocentricity, studying at the feet of people like Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben and James Turner, who had the Africana Institute at Cornell University. But, you know, you're right, Newstoter. You had in the 70s cultural nationalists, people like Imamu Amir Baraka, people like Malana Ron Karanga that had us look towards Africa. And I have to say that it wasn't just Black Americans. There were scholars from out the diaspora, Tony Martin. I mentioned Dr. Ben Yochanan, who was an Ethiopian Jew. You had a whole host of Afrocentric scholars who were from throughout the diaspora. And the last thing I wanted to say is that I got the impression when the brother said "we," you know, and I'm not trying to talk, but I thought he was talking about when they say we sent money to Ukraine. We sent. None of us had anything to do with that decision, and I think if they asked us, we wouldn't have agreed to it. That's the impression that I got when he was saying that, you know, we often use this term "we." I didn't think he was talking about us and them in terms of other Black people. I thought he was talking about. I got the impression he was saying, and he corrected me if I'm wrong. When we sit here and say we sent money, we're sending money to Israel, we're sending money to Ukraine. That's the impression that I got. And the last thing I wanted to say, there are organizations that have engaged the diaspora. Dr. Arakana Chiambori-Kwa, who is the former ambassador to the African Union. The diaspora is the sixth region of the African Union. She formed the African Development Institute, and we meet with Black people from Africa, from Europe, from Latin America, from here in America and the Caribbean every weekend. And we are moving and engaging and doing things. So just call the African Development Institute. Dr. Arakana Chiambori-Kwa spearheaded that. She's been very vocal on what's happening in the Sahel. And just very briefly, the stuff that's going on in Haiti is very similar to what's going on in the Sahel. People are saying no. They're saying no to colonialism. They're saying no to these people and what have you. And it's a revolution taking place. Here, people have a perspective that they want to, but there is unity. Where there's unity, there's strength. And I'll land there.
Thank you. And I get what you're saying, Fahim. I'm gonna kick it to Black Pressure and Rella about what he was saying about we shouldn't say we. We say we because our tax dollars, whether we have any say in it, is going to all these other places. So when people say, yeah, well, you taking our tax dollars and you giving it to these people. So so it's the we is like, yeah, we can't stop them, but at the same time, yeah, you're taking a collective. All the people in this space, their tax dollars are going overseas to take care of this person, that person, this country. So that's why we said we. But let me go ahead and kick it.
That's what I thought the brother was addressing. I didn't think he was saying anything about us and them, and that's what I think the sister was under the impression he was saying us and them. I thought he was saying we as American are including ourselves, and I think there's just a little conflation there.
There was no conflation, and I think the brother could speak for himself, and I don't know why you felt the need to come and clarify him as if he owned you, as if his mouth is full of gum and he can't speak for himself. He didn't need to tell you, but that's what you like to do. You like to jump in and speak and make assumptions. Why nobody talking to you? I was saying, why nobody talking to you?
All right, let me go.
You're very respectful.
Let me get the Black Pressure.
Yes, I am a baby. I could be more respectful. disrespectful if you like. I'm in an argument too.
All right. Let us get the pressure. Let us get the Rella too. So we'll come. We're gonna come back to y'all. I promise.
I can clarify or reiterate if I need to.
Yeah, we'll get back to you, Shy. Let us go ahead and get the Black Pressure and Rella. What's up, Pressure?
What's up, News? What's up, Black family?
What's up now?
I would go down the checklist, but y'all know we've been here long enough. You know who you are. But let me start out by saying this. I'm going to start with my small point first. Miss Fahima, she was right. I say she's right about the roster of I don't want to disrespect, but the term the African scholars that she named that had always been talking about definitely the unity and the diaspora, however you want to say it. But I will say this about her point. She named a lot of people that I do personally know, especially Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark. But let's be brutally honest with each other. Let's look in the mirror and be brutally honest. Those two men and I hold them in high esteem, have a high reverence for them. But if we're honest with each other, those two men were buried in obscurity, literally. There are two people that I credit for resurrecting these people's the people's knowledge and the consciousness of these two guys. It was Sarnetta and his crew down, I think he's in Harlem, and it was Tariq Nasheed with the Hidden Colors movies. It's literally because of those two guys, the people, I guess, say born after 1985, even know who Dr. Clark and Dr. Ben are. Those of you have to credit those two dudes for resurrecting those guys, their memory. But I'll move on. I would want to disagree with the brother that spoke earlier about his perception about how, African Americans looked at, and this is disagreement with respect. There's a lot of times where the guest is with vitriol, but this is with ultimate respect. And you guys have heard me say this before. I would totally disagree with his stance on how African Americans viewed Africa, the continent, and the native people. In News, you've heard me say this before. I'm sure everybody in here has heard me say this before. You could literally, you have to give credit solely to African Americans because, and I've said this before, and I take it from Tariq Nasheed, we're a group of people that have not seen that continent in 500 years, and we're the ones steadily beating the drum for that continent. Even myself. And News, like I said, we talked about this before. At one time in the late 80s and early 90s, the art form called hip hop that African Americans created, we dedicated that art form in reverence to Africa. And I could go down the list. And News, you know this, and anybody in my age group knows this just as well as me. There was a time in hip hop, it was just Africa, 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 Africa. That's all they rapped about. A lot of groups made millions of dollars off being Afrocentric. You could, like some of those scholars that Miss Fahima named, even some that she did name, like Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Clark, they even said this, and you could go look these videos up. Native Africans don't give a damn about ancient Egypt. It was African Americans that resurrected the memory of ancient Egypt. Even I've had these conversations with Native Africans myself, and recently, I say within the last 5 years up to now, and that's true. They care nothing about ancient Egypt. Like I said, it was African Americans that resurrected the memory of ancient Egypt. Even if you go like I said before, we talked about this before, like to say the regulars in here have heard me say this. When Italy attacked, was at Ethiopia, African Americans ran over there. You heard me talk about the Sun City Resort, when all the famous black African American artists said, look, the way
because y'all, the way y'all treat these people, we not going to perform over there. So I would vehemently disagree with that brother about the reverence and the esteem that African Americans hold for Native Africans. We actually put those people in that continent on our shoulders, and we uplifted these people. And once again, you have to remember, we haven't seen this continent in 500 years. And I'll mute up and listen.
All right. Thank you, Precious. Let me go ahead and get to Rella. Rella, go ahead and unmute your mic.
So much has been said, and shout out to Newstoter, DJ, my most equally long-winded brother as I am, and shout out to the space. You know I love you guys. It's always hard, and I've had this discussion with Shah before, and you know Fatima again. It just seems as if like they like to ignore the point being made that American descendants had recognized, even during Booker T. Washington's era, when Marcus Garvey navigated his way to the South and wanted to start the repatriation mission in the Negroes at the time, as it's documented. George Washington Carver documented, and a few others. I think Ida B. Wells as well documents how they were not going to repatriate. That was not a discussion that the Negroes were having, in that they wanted to move to Africa because they had already been so far removed from generations after emancipation. And so the crazy part is when we start to have this full circle, I think, coming into now, and we're saying, even in the discussions with people who are from African countries who are now here, or people who actually have gone to Africa who are Pan-Africanists, they like to gloss over a lot of the scholars and people who have laid the work for the repair that was to be done here. And they start with John Henry Clark. They start with all these different people, but they never name any of the historical record people who laid the foundation after emancipation or after the civil rights era. They don't talk about those people in the same vein as they do mention people who have changed their names, and they now have more Afrocentric names. They now have more, Pan-African names, and they've gone through the scholarship of these people, but they don't actually go through the work of how reparations was actually being fought by freedmen and the work that came out of that era into now. They don't talk about any Black Americans that are claim to be descendants. They don't talk about the Black Americans, who are from the South, and they are proud to be from the South. They don't even mention the native Black Negroes, freedmen, professors and scholars who are also doing genealogical work and have written books in the same lens that they do all these other people. And so when we start to have this discussion, and we're trying to say, and like I said earlier, the diaspora has holes. It likes to pretend that there is this brotherhood, sisterhood, love. But then when you start to point out that they are ignoring the story of the descendants, by calling them Africans, calling them Africans who were enslaved, right? And when you start to talk to the descendants and say, well, maybe our 12th generation grandparents who were enslaved, that you can have that conversation with them, but you're talking to the descendants of these families. And our identity, even if it's tied up in amalgamation, rest in this country.
And so we are talking about the conditions of what this country and what African countries who participated in the slave trade have ignored in regards to repair over the centuries or over the decades. And we're having that discussion. We're pointing that out. And we are pointing that out under the guise of the diaspora when we're having this discussion. So we would include them. We would include those who are blatantly ignorant to the fact that they would rather ignore the descendant language in the community, that we have to show up as Africans or have to show up under the barrage of being African American in order for them to even pay attention to the things that we have gone through. That is the lens that is so minute that they want to ignore. You don't want to take off what you know, because again, like you said, Fatima, everybody has a right to identify the way they want to. Well, if that's the case, why is it such a hard hill for you to actually acknowledge that there is a discussion that should have been had years ago that continuously gets thrown away? And this is the reason why you could have people like Narcan and Cobra join the California Commission's task force and fight against full repair voting for the people who had migrated to California around the time their descendants were dealt with enslavement or dealt with Jim Crow or any other oppression that happened. Why would people who are supposed to be from the diaspora get online to fight so hard against language that is for the people here in the United States? Because it doesn't say African, because it's not broad and it doesn't include all melanated people. That to me is a very, very poignant point that says the diaspora also has participated in harms against the descendants who want and are searching, uncovering, and have stories from their families that they've been telling for years that people are ignoring. And if you are in a position of authority or to make a decision for us, you will vote against us if we don't have the language of the African. And I think that, to me, is something that Pan-Africans avoid. And they avoid it and then get mad when people push back against them, because they don't want to have that discussion with people from different African countries, unless you say my brother, my sister. So to the point in the room, race baiting in today's world, Haiti's Unrest is really sad. You have a Haitian gang who's being paid to literally do exactly what the diaspora talks about is the opposite. They're literally ready to slaughter their own people just to say, okay, well, we're going to take control of this country. Someone's paying them. Because why would the fight against colonialism in Haiti be that you destroyed whatever's left of your country? Why isn't it that they're not going after the people who ciphered so much money out of that country and to the point where it's literally you can't even go and build in the country, to the point they're eating other people? That's not diasporan behavior that you all speak about. TikTok ban, you already know how I feel about that. And I agree with Original. The Chinese are not our friend. But there is an opportunity to have the language about utilizing our platforms like Fundedly Social to build up a place where that we control, and a place where we can have the discussions that we would like to have without being censored or silenced. So I'll end there. I'm pretty sure you all have a lot to say.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Thank you, guys. Like I said, up in the Jumbotron, we have the actual membership. See, we got a number of people up in here. Rella, Brother Moku, Ray, Trouble, Quadir, Black Pressure. We definitely need you guys to go ahead and create an account on Newstoter, guys. It's cheap. It's $1.75 low monthly. You can support the platform. We definitely need your support. It's up in the Jumbotron, guys. Definitely support. We won't be doing a space tomorrow, so we'll be back on Monday, guys. For those that can support, if you're not gonna get the membership, you can support on Cash App, $Newstoter. Newstoter. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna get the Ray Quadid, and I'm gonna get the Fahima, and I'm gonna get the Shaw again as well too. So go ahead. Who did I say? Ray. Go ahead, Ray, and then we got Quadid.
Yeah, I'm just gonna circle back to what I was saying earlier because I was trying to mention this earlier. So the girl Kaylee, the white girl that threw the first punch, it's alleged, and I'm seeing this online, that she actually jumped that black girl the day before. And then I guess, this was round 2 of the fight. But they're not saying that, though. They're definitely leaving that part of the story out and just making it seem like, she's just being aggressive and she slammed the head and tried to do all this stuff. And again, leaving out the fact that this young black girl, this young 15-year-old girl was jumped the day before.
I didn't know that. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Yeah, we didn't know that. Hopefully, you know how people, people say stuff right now, but hopefully that can be verified as well too. So we're definitely
news. Can I get, when you get done? Can I get 30 seconds?
Real quick. Let me give a shout out to Miss Trigger, but go ahead real quick. Black Pressure, 30 seconds.
When I spoke, I forgot to say one thing. And news, tell me if you disagree. Like I said, just responding to the brother that spoke about our perception about people from the diaspora in the Caribbean. Is it a fact or is it not? And it's I'm speaking from personal experience. You take people like, I say like Bob Marley is literally worshipped by African Americans as far as his musical talent and the legacy that he left. Peter Tosh, Super Cat, Shabba Ranks, Sean Paul. These guys made millions of dollars made millions from the African American dollar. For the reason that we welcome these guys in. And like I say, going back to Bob Marley, this guy is almost canonized amongst Black Americans, and I'll meet up and listen.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, I won't disagree with what you're saying on that part. I mean, they definitely Bob Marley, man. I mean, they here in Florida in particular. Yeah, Sunday. I remember on Reggae Sunday they used to play the hell out of Bob Marley. So yeah, it's definitely he's definitely an icon in here, and Black people, they always love Bob Marley. Like you said, a number of them as well too. Shabba Ranks, Super Cat. So it was a bunch of them that got love, and hip hop itself embraced a lot of them as well too. So go ahead and kick it to Quadir. Quadir, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Also, I just want to add this. If you want to read what I was saying, it's in the Jumbotron at the far left.
Okay. Quadir, you got it.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I want to come back on and address the defense that I heard that was and address the defense I heard in regards to Shaw. I didn't hear Shaw talk about the we versus they until we mentioned we had done enough helping of the diaspora and our cousins across the world. And once I also said that we should start focusing. We should start saying that we should start focusing on ourselves a little more. He was also very disrespectful in saying, well, we didn't throw a party for them. I mean, we done much better than that. I mean, in our civil rights era, we had our ancestors, our grandparents, our great grandparents sacrifice themselves so that other Black cousins from across the diaspora could come to the U.S. Another thing, that whole Pan-Africanism thing is dead. That Afrocentrism, that thing is dead. It's always been one-sided with us beating the drum forward. It's always just been one-sided. When you have African immigrants coming to America and
running for local office, winning local office, and saying that they're going to get rid of our Black History Month, something that they had nothing to do with, kill Pan-Africanism. When you have Caribbean immigrants such as Candace Owens saying we don't deserve reparations, kill Pan-Africanism. When they're sitting up here calling us bullet bags, kill Pan-Africanism. Kill Pan-Africanism. When they have names for us like Jareer, Yankee, Akaya, and all these other type of epithets for us, all that kill Pan-Africanism. At this point, I believe Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanists are working against us, are working against our interests, and they just want to see us downtrodden, always chasing some weird Wakanda thing. I don't know, but paying money to the right to a vote. It's all a scam. I think they're working against our interests. I'm the man there.
All right. I see Miss Cleopatra. She's come up here, Miss Cleopatra. If you want to speak, raise your hand. I get to you. Want to speak? You may just be chilling up in the speaker section for right now, but definitely let me know, and we'll go ahead and we'll get you up here as well too, and let you speak. Fahima, go ahead and let me hold on real quick. Miss Cleopatra, did you want to speak? Did you want to say something real quick?
I'm sure you can't hear me. I'm in a very good place. I was going to wait.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to you. Just raise your hand when you want to speak. Fahima, go ahead and unmute your mic.
A couple of things, Newstoter. First off, the only reason why I mentioned Claude and Ben and Van Sertima and etc. is because it was relevant to the context. I mean, I've taught slave histories and rebellions movements in this country. I've taught Harlem Renaissance, but why would I sit here and reference Henry Monroe Trotter or the David Walker and his appeal? It's not relevant to the context of the conversation. Now, the other piece I wanted to say, I mean, I'm not pushing for anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. I'm not telling anybody to go to Africa. I believe in self-determination, and people have a right to do whatever they want to do, But I will say this. You have a situation where things vary from different parts of the country, but I remember growing up and hearing Black Americans calling Africans African booty snatchers, calling Jamaicans monkeys and things of that nature. And this is stuff that kids do, okay? And so the thing is that I haven't heard some campaign, where African. Oh, the other thing, this thing about, first of all, yes, I do know people from Cobra and from North. When I worked with the late Johnny Cochran and Charles Ogletree, when I was a member of Cobra, when I was a graduate student and went to the UN Conference Against Racism in South Africa, I cannot speak to what's going on. I know some of those people. I have nothing to do with what they're advocating. I haven't been involved with Cobra in almost a decade, if not more. So the thing is that I don't understand where this is coming from. I'm not advocating. I have my opinions and my perspective, but I see people fighting harder to determine who will not get reparations than to fight for reparations. And it's counterproductive, and I think it's going to sabotage. Because I got to tell you, our enemies are sitting aside and they're laughing. There's more that I can say, but I'm not gonna say it. But I mean, I don't know where this hostility is coming from. The reason why I mentioned, from what I understood the brother to have said just what you thought when we were talking about Newstoter, that we often say we and us, and I understand the reasoning why. But she was under the impression that from what she said, I heard him say, I didn't interrupt you. Ma'am, I don't know what your name is because I don't see the person that was talking. But you want to tell me your name, then I will reference it.
She referred to us as it or something.
I didn't say no it.
As it or something like that.
I didn't say anything about any.
All right.
Yeah. One person at a time. Fahima, go ahead and and get ready to land your plane, and then we're gonna go ahead and get the shot, and then we're gonna get to the the new speakers in here as well too. So go ahead, Fahima.
I don't disrespect black people. I did not call anyone it. I simply said I heard one thing and the sister heard something else. I consider all black people my sister and my brother. Okay, I heard. Well, that's your prerogative, sister. But anyway, the brother. I understood the brother to have been saying that we refer to each other. We refer to when our government does certain things, we say we and us. And I understand the perspective that you're taking, Newstoter. But I got the impression that the sister was saying that we were talking about. He was saying us and them, and that's not what I heard. Both of us can't be right.
Okay. No problem. No. Hey, listen, it's no problem, guys. We're gonna move on to the next speaker, but we'll go ahead and we'll try to get it straightened out. Let me if anybody that's up here that spoke wants to drop down so we can we're trying to get somebody to come up here. But if not, then it'll just the next Fahima, I'm gonna drop you down for a second so the next person, since you're the last speaker, the next person can come up here.
I'm gonna go to another space. I'm heading to another space.
Okay.
Go ahead, drop me down.
Well, Fahima says she's gonna get ready to leave, so. But
So let me tell you what I said. What I said was, what everybody's saying, we meaning United States, that we say we, and I wonder why we say we so much when the United States really ain't thinking. To me, there's a select segment of the United States that is in control, and we're not in. We don't get all the benefits of being in this country as citizens of this country, as having built this country, even though if we had a choice, we wouldn't have built this country. If we had a choice, this country would not be built. So I don't take a whole lot in this whole thing that we built this country. We were forced to build this country. But anyway, with that being said, I also said the brother said when he referred to the Haitians, I said that. And this is what people remember, that part of what I said. And I also want to say this too, that the sister starts her whole thing on me, right? And she has a problem with Fahima, and then she refers to me and Rahima as it, or something like it, not even going by our profile names. So I don't know what's got her gathered up like that. But anyway, I want to talk about, just to touch on it a little bit, is the fact that when I was taking those Black Studies classes, they mentioned freedmen. I remember briefly going over that. We were dealing with John Henry Clark. By the way, John Henry Clark was born in this country. Malana Karinga was born in this country. And their parents, these are African Americans going way back. Somebody mute their mouth, please.
Hey, somebody, Quadri, is that your mic?
That's Miss Cleo or whatever.
Oh, Miss Cleo.
Hey, Tony, why you blaming me, man?
My bad.
So it's not like we didn't know about that history. It is that it was not important. And I want to say this too for the record. The very first Africans that were brought to the United States were not freedmen. They were not Negroes. They were Africans. And the children of those Africans that were brought and enslaved in this country were Africans. In fact, 4 generations, maybe 5 generations ago, Nat Turner, they say his grandmother was from Ghana or came through Ghana. She might have came through one of those Elmina, one of them castles. Beside the spaces, you is Nottoway Indian. Telling me about the Nottoway, they don't know about the Ghanaian grandmother on the other side. I have not confirmed neither one of those. But again, so I can say that my ancestry goes back to Africa, and it's more than likely it's going to have some Native Americans somewhere along the line. I don't have a problem with that. That's not my interest, because for me, the way that I have seen my culture expressed has been more from an African base. And I say that because of how I grew up, and then my studies, and then having traveled to Africa several times and being with the people there. By the way, many of the people there are wondering when we're coming back, or they're asking questions. They're very much not rejecting us and saying all these things that I'm hearing people in here say that Africans say. They don't have nothing to do with us. They don't like us. And all. That is not my experience there. So, and this is the last thing. There's a people are starting to move back to Africa. It's small, but it's picking up. The migrations, especially to places like Ghana, is increasing. More and more African Americans are moving back to Africa. I myself am moving back to Africa. And the reason why is because I've had enough of this bullshit here. Oh, excuse my language. I've had enough of.
Hey, Ian, it looks like your mic is unmuted. You need to mute your mic. Go ahead.
Right. So, and it's like, so even with all of the things that are going on with the delineations and now identifying with this part of our lineage that I think, for whatever reason that we're doing now, we would diagnose that. I think Joy DeGruy, Amos Wilson, and Wade Noble, psychologists, African American psychologists, would diagnose that as a specific certain thing. I'm a student of that, and I understand that behavior of denying the African and saying that we're something other. In fact, I was in this room with this sister. She wrote this Native American sister. It was about this book about how Europe Americans saw the word Negro, how they used the word Negro in the United States, in Brazil, in the Caribbean, how the Germans used Negro. This word Negro was put on us by European, by American, white Americans, German, people from Germany and people from other parts of, they all had a different type of use of it, but the Negro had this word attached to it that would identify if they were one quarter or they had this other mix. And I'm listening to people calling themselves Negro and listening to this history, how Negro was put on us by these white folks during slavery time. This was 15, 20-year period in the 1500s. This use of the word Negro, now as time went on, it started to change. But that was the origins of the word. And I would never have known that had I not been in that room about 3 days ago. And I kind of forced myself to be in there because I was like, okay, keep an open mind. And this is what I learned about the use of the word Negro. Excuse my throat's kind of. So, and we're holding on to that. We're holding on to Negro. We're holding on to freedmen.
Well, let me say something, Shy, real quick, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but now let's be honest too. Now, when you come into space, I know you're going into you're doing you're going into your points and everything like that too. But it can be perceived that when you come up in here, because you start talking about the Nigerians and this and that, and they don't call themselves this, they don't call themselves that, or whatever. So, people feel a certain way as well, too. Now, I get what you're saying about the Negroes and this and that. Let's be for real. A name is a name. Whether it's Africa, whether you came up with the name or somebody else came up with the name, every name in this world somebody came up with. It's man-made, created. Everything that we call something was actually a man came up with and named and stuff like that. Fahima was talking about how black kids, and notice she was talking about kids, how black kids used to call Africans African booty scratchers, and we call Jamaicans monkeys. I'm in Florida. Jamaicans call Black Americans plenty of things as well too. I didn't grow up around any Africans. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't grow up around any Africans. Most of the people that got called African booty scratchers were Black Americans. Most of the time, it was Black American kids calling other Black American kids African booty scratchers because there were no Africans around us. I mean, just to be real. But when you came into the room, you started talking about we, they, this, and whatever. Okay, then you started talking about the Nigerians and the Canadians, and then, we all consider just one big nigga. And my thing was like, we were always considered just one big nigga, but it was the other black people that came over here that didn't think that. So I get what you're saying. But at the same time, I mean, you do, when you do come in these spaces, now let's be for real. You come in here with your Pan-African vibe. I have nothing against Pan-Africanism. If that's what you want to do, fine. That's your thing. I'm not a Pan-African, but I don't have an issue with anybody that practices Pan-Africanism. If I could work with somebody that does Pan-Africanism and we can come to a mutual agreement, I'm cool with that. If that's what a person wants to do, fine or whatever. But then there are other people in the group and stuff like that as well too. And people kind of picked up on the thing with the bag and this and that or whatever. And we kind of was like, okay, what? Like, yeah, this is something that our people in this country have been doing for hundreds of years. That when white people see you, that you're a one nigga. Okay, we've understood that, we've known that, it's been beaten into our heads. We know that. Okay, so I'm just, not to cut you off, but we do got some hands up. So I'll get back to you, but let me go ahead and get to a couple of these new speakers in here as well too, and we'll get to the.
Before you go to a speaker, can I just say one thing so I could drop down since he referenced me?
Go ahead.
I didn't call you an it. That's not what I said. I said thing one and thing two. That's not an it. And the only problem I had with you,
just as bad.
I mean, well, it was a little nicer than it, but the only problem I had with you and Fatima is the title of the space is race baiting in today's world, the unrest in Haiti, and the TikTok ban. And just like the white supremacists, you all rolled up into the room and you took away from the current context of the conversation and made it about some diaspora thing between Black Americans and every other Black globally. And that is not what this space is about. And that is what vexed me. That is what had me call you what I called you and refer to you in that manner, is because I'm tired of you all doing that. And you keep pretending it's a one-sided thing when it's not. But the biggest thing is the title of the room is race baiting in today's world, the Haiti unrest, and the TikTok ban. And it had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with diasporans, Blacks in America versus diasporans, or anything other than that. And I don't understand why y'all keep bringing that element into the spaces that have nothing to do with nothing. And I land right there, because damn.
In news, for the record, that word Negro is over 5,000 years old. That Greeks and the Romans called the ancient Ethiopians that. Is Latin. Mute up and listen.
All right. Let me go ahead and let me give a shout out to the brother Moku Maintenance on Wheels. He just went ahead and got a membership as well too. So shout out to brother Moku, is always supporting. Let me go ahead and get to She Means Business. She Means Business, and then I'm gonna get to New Negro. I'm gonna get to Letitia. So go ahead, She Means Business.
Hey, Newstoter, how you doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing?
For these amazing rooms, I normally catch them on replay, but I'm gonna take a deep sigh for a second, because the disrespect is just. I was trying to just listen, because my folks in here be handling business, so I normally could just listen. But the disrespect coming from Shah and Fahima, and I've seen both of them consistently do this in multiple rooms. First of all, how dare you say freedmen history is unimportant? When you go to the Arlington National Cemetery in freaking Arlington, Virginia, the freedmen history is all up and through that place. It's documented. When you go to Houston, there's a freedmen town, a historical town. Do you know how much stuff our people accomplished under that name? For you to sit here and talk about it's unimportant? How dare you? I'm glad you ran up out of here, because you deserve to be cussed out, which I'm not going to do because I'm a respect Newstoter space. But this disrespect and underhanded comments is just completely unnecessary. And you talking about where the word Negro came from. Well, Africa was named by white Europeans too. So there's this double standard where we're supposed to put all of our history aside and not care about it and focus on Africa and act like Europeans didn't name countries over there, didn't introduce dashikis and all types of stuff over there, and act like there's some pure African culture that's untouched. Meanwhile, we're just some generic, off-brand that doesn't deserve to have respect and doesn't deserve to have our history and our ethnicity respected, while everybody else is literally leeching off of everything we did. Like that brother said, we put everybody on our back. And we're not doing that no more. So you guys need to stop wasting our time with these ridiculous arguments. Fahima up here talking about people are fighting harder for who can't get reparations. They're fighting for trying to get reparations. That's a damn lie. And how dare you disrespect our people that have been putting in work for that? You should have you should be talking to the people who can't respect us enough to allow us to have our redress that has nothing to do with them, and stop trying to pillage off of our people. Literally pillaging off of our ancestors' graves. and disrespecting us at the same time. The audacity. Like, I'm so sick and tired of y'all wasting our time with this BS. You want to be on Pan-African time? You want to waste time fantasizing Africa and acting like there's some unity that don't even exist on the continent? Go over there, pack your bags, keep it pushing, and leave us alone. We are focusing on ourselves, point blank, period. Everybody else needs to hold their own nuts, do their own work, get their own countries together. We're not going to jeopardize our future generations to be mules and workhorses for everybody else. It's not happening. And nobody should want that to happen, because if something happens to us, it's a wrap for everybody else. We are leading the way, but we're going to lead the way by focusing on ourselves. That's called logic and common sense. And I want everybody in this space to know, when you talk to elders and your family who have been in the progressive movements of our people for decades, they will tell you there's always been this element of people trying to get us to focus on Africa and do all this stuff that has wasted our time for decades. And then there's been the people who have been focused on us here. We've already done the analysis to see that the people who wanted to focus on us here were right. We don't need to waste any more time. We've wasted enough time trying to force something that is not happening. It is not our fault that these other people don't want to get on board and act right. We're not going to tolerate the disrespect, like somebody said, and we're not going to sacrifice ourselves for anybody else. We don't have to keep going over the harms. The harms are there, and it's so convenient for people to act like, oh, well, I'm not aware of this. I'm not aware of that. I don't know. You're not paying attention to what's going on here because you have your ass so up Africa's behind that you don't know what's going on here. We're going through our own genocide here. That's why we're fighting as hard as we are. And we don't have, we have people like that that's sitting up here wasting our time, not helping us, but focusing on people thousands of miles away on the other side of the world who could give a damn if we live or die here, or if our future generations live or die here. Like, it's complete insanity. And for Shaw to be talking about, oh, there's lots of people moving to Africa. Yeah, because they're doing a whole marketing spiel to get people over there acting like, like everything's great. How many of them are staying long term, though? Did y'all see that video from JT the Bigger Figure talking about his experience there? And the Pan-Africans, what did they do? They started jumping down his throat, trying to silence him from telling the truth. A lot of people are going over there, and a lot of them are not staying past a couple years because they're not being treated right. And JT, the Bigger Figure, actually said the same thing we're experiencing here, where it was fine for him to spend his money, but when it's time for him to make money, it's the problem. It's the same thing we're experiencing here. It's all fine and dandy when we open the floodgates for everybody, allow them to come into our stuff, eat off of us and everything, use our platforms to promote themselves. But when it's time for us to get what we need to get, oh, it's a problem. Meanwhile, these people start organizations that exclude us. CARICOM is not including us in their reparations justice claim. So we don't have to sit here and include nobody. It's insanity. The Gambia is not including us in their reparations justice claim against Germany. So what are we talking about? And I'm sorry, Newstoter, I really was just trying to, be chilling here, but I'm not tolerating the disrespect. You will not talk about our history and say it's unimportant, and you will not sit here and continue to waste our time with this bullshit. If you want to be all about Pan-Africanism, Africa fantasies, and all this other stuff, fine. Good luck to you. Don't let the door hit you. We're not going that way, so it's a waste of time to keep trying to talk to us about some stuff we're not doing. The movement is going forward. If you're not coming with us, you're going to get left behind. And like I said, pack your bags, keep it pushing over to Africa, and stay there. Thank you.
Thank you, She Mean Business. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Talent. Talent, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Peace and love.
What's going on?
I swear you've been hot, man. You've been on fire lately. Right? I mean, you always been doing your thing, but these last couple of moments been serious. Shout out to everybody in the space. Man, I just heard a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna say every Labor Day weekend in New York City, everybody from the diaspora comes outside with their own flag. They are very specific about representing who they are. And if you are a Negro, a descendant of slaves, and you show up there, you are surely called a Yankee. That's just reality. That's just how it is. And you can take it as an offense. It's not really made an offense, but delineation is a real thing here, right? There's little, what they call it in one part of Flatbush, like little Haiti area, little Caribbean, like all of that stuff is out here. You got the Africans up in Harlem on one side, so they have their areas and they delineate. And for the majority of the diaspora that exists in New York City, it's not Pan-African, right? There's no plot to destabilize the European white economy, right? It's really just quote black people from the diaspora getting along, getting by, working, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to stay out the way. Just regular people, working class, regular people, including the Negroes that's there. The stuff that I've been hearing from Shaw, or the stuff that I heard from, I think the lady that was speaking, that's them, right? That is them. That you got to extract them because the Pan-African ideology is specific, right? And in that ideology, they have not done a great job of making it transcend. I'm sorry, right? They haven't locked down educational centers. They haven't locked down the cultural institutions that are needed for it to be valuable. They have not come together and created any type of economic independence where they are able to rely on the mutual identifier of Pan-Africanism that they have. So what I'm starting to see or have seen for a very long time in that space is a lot of times angry that nobody wanted to buy into what it is that they stood on, right? It's them angry that they have a belief system and the majority of us don't care about it. And think that we don't have an endearment with Africa or whatever. It's not common to our everyday, right? It's more interesting for us to learn about the stuff that we have accomplished here and not trying to be transported back to Egypt or this, that, and the third, right? And if individuals do decide to do that, that could be their own individual school of thought. But Pan-Africanism, the way I understand it to be described, is way more than what you hear Shah say, which is art and culture. He always started the culture, and it's love to the brother. Shah went to Africa in 1989. That's the last time he been there. He said that in the room himself one time. So we like, wait, the last time you been there in 89, some of us was babies and not even born. Right? So since 89 until 2024, what have you done with what you're standing on to actually create some type of prosperity for our people? Right? And it can't be culture and dance. No. We didn't African drum that shit get out in the 90s and the 80s. Right? There was the Black conscious movement that happened in hip hop. Right? All of that stuff. There was movements with the Republic of North Africa trying to go down to the South to get some land. Right? Like there's so much stuff that has happened, and I always look at it and I say, I believe that there's some unhappiness there because individuals would rather be somewhere else, right? And for her to kind of throw the reparations thing out of nowhere, like this ain't even a conversation about reparations. It just goes to show you that there is a difference in terms of what they feel about us because we are not Pan-Africans. That it's an ideology, it's an ism, right? Like an ism. Right, Pan-Africanism. That ism part of that means that there's a strict belief system that us who are the descendants of those enslaved in the United States don't have culture because of the white dominant society that we're around, right? So they give passes to all these other Caribbean places that let the English and the European monarchs come there and they be carrying them and they be dropping on the floor. all that stuff that you've seen them do with like the Queen of England, you know, and some of those Caribbean islands, like they revere them or whatever, or praying to the white big Jesus statues in Africa, they'll bypass all of that because those are quote black nations. So they're able to have their autonomy, and they don't try to tell them to go back to Africa. But because we live in America and they associate America with whiteness and just disregard any contributions that we created outside of the ones that they want to cherry pick who were Pan-African, you know, everything that they stand on is nothing better than freedmen, Negro, the descendant community, right? They go to 1960, maybe a little bit of Marcus Garvey, and they take you back to Africa. So I see it real time and real life. It's unhappiness, and it's really one of those things that I understand that it's because that they're angry that we don't buy it anymore, or we are not the class that cares about it. We're not going outside attacking nobody from the diaspora. We don't wish no evil on nobody from the diaspora. We just focusing on ourselves, handling our business. And I think for us in this generation, we have a right to, because we see what it was under blackness, right? We see what it was under the Pan-African ideologies, where instead of us saying some issues about CARICOM not accepting us in those claims, her not calling out Duncan and Cobra, and how they trying to all lives matter everything for our reparations claims, you would rather make it seem like it's our fault or it's something on us. So I always say that it's something deeper in terms of their ideology. It does not manifest into anything economic in practice. I've never seen it in all my years living in New York. I don't care how many cultural festivals y'all throw. It's always going back to we don't own it, we don't control it, and all y'all want to do is sell us a type of symbolism because you really want us to be more like you, and you don't really care about what we created in America. And I'm going to land here. The term Negro predates the term African. So for anybody to try to say that we African and try to shit on a Negro, it's just weird to me. So, I mean, I'm going to land there.
All right. All right. We're getting towards the end. We're going to hit the last few hands up in here, guys, and then we're going to be closing this space out for the night. I do want to say this real quick. When Shah came up here, the discussion, we were talking about the race bait, we were talking about Haiti and the TikTok, man, we kind of got thrown off a little bit because he came in here, I don't know, with the energy or whatever, and he felt a certain way. Nobody had said anything offensive, anything about the actual, about the situation in Haiti. And it seemed to me like he kind of, he took maybe offense at, the divisiveness or whatever he felt that was going on with the diaspora or whatever. So it kind of, the conversation kind of evolved into something that, it wasn't there. And I think, Trouble kind of was like, hey, what's going on? Like nobody was even talking about that. But then I also caught something he said that was kind of really troubling. The last time he spoke, he was saying that, we were slaves and we was made to build America. So, basically, okay, we were slaves, was made to build America. So we basically, you can't take credit for that because you were made to do something or whatever. Well, listen here, we all were made to go to school by law as well, too. You made to go to elementary school, high school, and to a certain level to in high school or whatever until you get to a certain age, and then you could drop out at 16. So since we go to school and we're made to go to school and we get an education and everything like that, well, does that not count either? Because we were made to do it. We didn't do it on our own. I know people say, well, that's different, but at the same time, like I didn't understand that, because when you look at the Bible and people talk about the actual ancient Hebrews building the pyramids and stuff over there in Egypt. Now you got scientists that came out and said, those pyramids was actually there before the actual Hebrews actually built them. But let's just say the Hebrews built them, actually did build those pyramids. Nobody takes away from that. Nobody says, well, they were slaves, so if they built the damn pyramids, it don't mean. Everybody heaps praises on them for how tough they had to be, how durable they had to be out there in the damn desert sun and actually do that and come up with a marvel that they can't even duplicate to this day. So you're going to sit up and tell me that people that built the most technological advanced society in the history of the world as slaves, people that contributed tens of thousands of inventions, and you're going to sit up here and say, well, y'all were just a bunch of slaves, so what you niggas did don't matter. to me, that's offensive. That's really an insult as well. We built the most technological advanced society, not today's time, but in the history of the world. And people can sit up and they can say that Egypt is the greatest, no, Egypt is not the greatest society in history. Egypt was the greatest in this time. But Egypt did not have airplanes, it did not have subways, and did not have submarines and aircraft carriers, and could not get to the moon and everything else as well too. So nothing against Egypt. They didn't have refrigeration and indoor plumbing and all other stuff that we have today, air conditioners and telephones and TVs and satellites and the internet and all this other stuff. So no, in their day, they were the most technological society. They were the greatest society in their day. But the greatest society to this point in human existence that we know that's been recorded is right here in the United States of America. Now, that may change in the next 10, 15, 20 years, but at this point in time, it's the most technological advanced society in the entire history of mankind, recorded history. So to sit up here and act like people that actually were the backbone in building this, and we were slaves, so it don't matter, and this and that or whatever. Nobody says about the people that built the Great Wall of China over there that, hey, they were just a bunch of slaves and they built the Great Wall of China. All of these tremendous accomplishments, architectural accomplishment by mankind, and you're going to sit up here and you're going to ignore what we did and sit up here and say, because we was a bunch of slaves. It's a bunch of slaves that contributed to those African empires as well, too. Nobody's going to sit up here and say, well, Mansa Musa had thousands of slaves, so him sending all that gold to Egypt and messing up the economic system that don't mean nothing. Everybody's going to heap praises on him. So that I had a little issue with that one right there. But let me go ahead and get to Letitia, because I don't want to go ahead and rant. But Letitia, how you doing tonight?
Hi, Newstoter. Hi, DJ, and everyone. Thank you for letting me speak. I had quite a few points that I wanted to raise, but I am just mentally exhausted. And so I'm just going to raise 2 points and leave it there. Okay, so my first point is this. The young lady made the comment that reparationists would rather fight, they fight harder for lineage-based reparations than they do for reparations generally. And for someone who's in the reparations movement, because of hearing modern day YouTubers kind of explain delineation and how the racial wealth gap affected Black Americans descending from U.S. chattel slavery, and really, really listening to that information and taking in the facts. And I will tell you, I don't necessarily like their delivery. I don't necessarily like the way they act, but the facts are the facts. And so having come into this consciousness about 5 years ago, I became a reparationist. And I was one of those persons who pushed for lineage-based reparations, despite people on that California Reparations Task Force panel trying to essentially just mess the whole thing up by pushing for a kind of BIPOC all-Black reparations program. And what I always wondered, and no one ever asked, was how could these people be true diasporans, loving all Black people, but willing to mess something up for the group of people who were entitled to the program? Of all the people entitled to reparations in America, it is our lineage. It's Black Americans, freedmen, whatever you want to call them, Negro. And you all were willing to just mess that up for your own selfish gain. And it was like, even if, okay, let's say, for the sake of argument, that everyone in the diaspora was eligible for reparations. But the law said that only 80% of the people, 80 to 90% of the people would get them for whatever reason. It is an act of selflessness to say, you know what? I'm going to forego my position, even if I think I'm right, because I understand the greater good would mean that 80% of the people 80% of the people would get something that would help everybody. And it is always a push by the Pan-Africanists for us to let go of our will, for us to back down, but they're never willing to back down. And that is problematic to me. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that the young lady mentioned Johnny Cochran and working with Charles Ogletree. And Johnny Cochran was, in fact, working for reparations for Black Americans, for descendants of slavery. And he said that in his book. And he also mentioned that the first lawsuit filed for reparations was in 1915 by Callie House. And I think Pan-Africanists and those who are part of NCOBRA need to really research and do their history and understand that they were not the first at this. Callie House in 1915 filed her lawsuit as a former slave that was dismissed unfairly, and people continued the fight. It wasn't just NCOBRA and NARC. You all don't own the fight for reparations. In fact, you fucked it up.
Language.
Thank you. I'm sorry. And it is wonderful that we are now in this consciousness and we understand that delineation matters. And I apologize, Newstoter, I shouldn't have said that. And the last thing is we need to. It's like a psyop they're doing. Like they want us in the matrix, and they want us to believe that we were so wrong to have called each other booty scratchers in third grade. And you know what? Let me ask you this. Was it wrong to undermine our political and economic interest by, not supporting us, by supporting legislation that was anti-Black American? So I'm going to end there. And again, I apologize.
No problem. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Ian. Ian, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I was interested in know what the race baiting conversation was when we got off into the who's right or wrong in terms of Pan-Africanism. We already debated this. We know who we are as freedmen. Some people call themselves. We know who we are. We know what we stand on. If you're not with it, just don't be with it. But just don't spend too much time trying to convince people who are fighting for reparations for their lineage to be something different. Because that's kind of a fascist approach. I don't think that's an African mindset that you claim to have, because I think that's more of a European mindset when you think that you need to try to mentally control and coerce people. And I think you that do that are the ones who are more affiliated with whiteness and with European Eurocentric mindset than we are actually. I think what essentially is happening is a lot of folks, they want to go back to the womb, and as Talent mentioned, that's a psychological wound where you always constantly feel that you want to go back into the safety of the womb. I don't think Africa became the great continent and individualized states that it was, trying to move backwards, right? I don't think that's ever what any group of people on the planet has done, trying to move backwards, unless again, they had some kind of injury, mentally or physically or politically or otherwise. I don't think that's a mature way to approach our fight. I don't think that's a mature way to approach life in general. To want to go back to the womb of whatever it is. Africans, as some people said, that there is no pure sense of African. You know what I'm saying? There is no African on the continent that can say, okay, this is what an African is, right? That doesn't exist. You can't point to any person and say, this is what an African is. And you can't say that just because they're on the continent, they're more African than we are. And I mean, in a lot of ways, I would say that African Americans, even though we are delineating, I would say that we're more African. I would say that our mindset is more open and more congruent with the growth and development of the African consciousness. I mean, because you look at all of the scholarship, on Africa, the push for African consciousness. Where did that come from? That came from Americans, from Black Americans, from freedmen. It didn't start on the continent, right? On the continent, as people were saying, they're trying to get back with the king and the queen over there. You know what I'm saying? You had a couple years ago, this sister over there, she got on her hands and knees and was walking up to, I think, the prince or whoever it was. You had, when the queen died, you had folks over there crying and weeping and moaning and doing all kind of stuff. Listen, y'all are far removed from whether we're talking about African consciousness or whether we're talking about modern day development. You guys are light years behind, right? Whoever feels that we are somehow cooning in a way. You guys are light years behind, and you be having this conversation with us. You don't have the frame of reference politically, socially, and culturally to even critique us. You guys just came out of your when they just came out of their tribalism, right? They're not equipped to have these discussions with us. I mean, in reality. So, like I said, I would have liked to know about the race-based baiting conversation. I know there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of that race baiting that's destroying our push for delineation. There's a lot of race baiting that people are looking for handouts from white folks. The reparations is not about a handout. Every people on the planet is pushing for any inch of what they think they're owed, right? Anywhere in the world. That is just being a mature human being, right? And you do that politically, you do that socially, right? You do that by force if necessary, right? So let's not play that game that we're somehow begging masters. No, politics is war. Is war without bloodshed.
Hey, Ian, real quick, go ahead and land it because we're gonna be closing the space out in a little bit.
I appreciate the space. Like I said, the race baiting. There's a lot of race baiting going on. We need to stop that. We need to stand on who we are. If white people don't like us or not, who cares? All we care about is getting what we're owed. Who gives a damn who likes us? I'll lay in there.
All right, appreciate it. Apia, you got up here late because I was gonna actually let Quadir actually speak, but I'll give you a couple of minutes real quick, Apia. Then I'm gonna go ahead and get the Quadir. I'm gonna give everybody up here like 2 minutes. We're not taking any more speakers because I'm getting up out of here. She means business. I guess I'll go ahead and let you get one more time in here as well too. But Apia, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. First and foremost, I would say that Newstoter
I would want to ask: has anybody seen any African space discussing reparation in regards to the United States before?
You say have you seen any?
Yes. Have you seen African spaces where they discuss reparation? Which one was it? Which country was it?
Just in general, Africans.
Not respectfully, sir. Which space was
Well,
it?
you can say it's Ghanaians, you can say it's Nigerians, you can say it's Ethiopians, you can say South Africa.
Okay,
it's the multitude, right? Okay, say African, right?
Okay, yes, because every time when I say African spaces, most of the time it is a country to country base, whether it's a Ghanaian space, a Ghanaian space, whatever. Have you seen any of them? Ghana, Nigeria, whatever they're discussing.
It would just be a bunch of
To be honest, Apia, this wasn't a reparation space right here tonight.
Yes, I respect it. The point is this, right? Listen, some of us we say that reparation is due Black Americans. Okay, really, we can only pray, support, and show solidarity. All right, this is not something that we have direct stake in it. You guys are the ones that have been affected the most, and therefore you guys deserve it first and foremost. All right, as long as the United States is concerned, leave Africa alone. Just leave us alone. All right, ain't nobody
about y'all, bro.
Let it be a speak. Let it be a speak. It's his turn to speak.
Yeah, and Quadia, I'm gonna let you go right after the rebuttal. So, Appeal, like I say, I'm gonna give you about another minute or so, and then we're gonna go ahead because, like I said, I'm trying to close this space out. Ray, I let you back up simply because you were up here and then you dropped down. I'll give you a couple minutes too, but like I said, we closing this space out in a second. So I'm giving everybody 2 minutes, and then we closing out.
Clock is on. Go ahead. The clock is on. Go ahead, Appeal.
Now, second of all, right? When I don't know if you've ever been to Africa, right? If you've not been there, if you've not lived around Africans, respectfully, do not be touching on matters that it can easily backfire on you. All right? You want to talk about culture, you want to talk about politics, you want to talk about enlightenment, sir? Let's respect each other. Don't get into stuff that will come back and bite you. All right? You don't know Africans. You don't know our records. If we pull our records, it will be game over for a lot of folks. Don't. All right? At the end of the day, we're all one black folks that caught up in a particular circumstances that we got to deal with. So the bragging and all these things, it doesn't help. Every time folks talk about you want to talk down on Africa, bring our bills to fire back. Don't think we can't. It is just
trying in our country.
All right? Okay, you know what?
Stay on your mic.
Listen. Yes, this is your country, right? You have a definition of what it is called your country. I have a definition of what I call my country, Ghana. There are two different things. In my country, I don't fight for nothing. The Constitution was made for me. My right was given to me. My vote was given to me. Resources was given. I don't need to fight for nothing. That is mine. I don't need to even blink an eye and say I am a God. No, it is there. All right? That is mine. That's my definition. I don't know about your definition of what your country is. All right? If minority means it is yours, that's fine. If whatever your record says, conclude that it is yours, that's fine.
All right, Appeal, I gotta land your plane for you though.
So in conclusion, my point is this. Just leave Africa alone. We respect Black Americans. We consider you as cousins, distant cousins, all right? We have a common history together, and that's about it. Beyond that, no disrespect whatsoever. Let's play fair.
All right.
Thank you.
Let me go ahead and get to Quadia. Quadia, go ahead and unmute your mic.
But Shaw, I was still pretty hot with Shaw. Yeah, let me go back into Shaw real quick. I'm gonna make it quick. One, I want everybody to know how Shaw came up here and conducted himself is usually how the Pan-Africanists conduct themselves up here in the New York, New Jersey area. See, they come up here and start talking to us like we're stupid. So he come up here and talking about bringing up points. Yo, I'm so flustered and confused about the bullcrap he was talking about. Did you guys catch the point where he said that because we're delineating, we would be diagnosed with something? The scholars would diagnose it with schizophrenia.
I didn't even hear that part.
He said something in that light. Yeah, not to quote him verbatim, but it was damn near close.
Yeah, he said we will be diagnosed with something because we want to delineate. But he's a Pan-Africanist, right? If he goes and look at all the people in the continent of Africa. You know how many different tribes and stuff that's over there. So like, where are they all diagnosed with? I'm a hella confused. Like he was getting hot. I could go on and on, but I'm a land there. I'm just gonna land there.
All right, you got 50 seconds. Let it go. If you want to go, 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Well, one more thing. The niggas. Excuse my French. The man said he's 60 years old and said he's gonna go back to Africa. I mean, listen, my man. If you ain't go to Africa now, you're not moving over there. Like, yo, stop. Stop gaming us, man. You're not going. You're not going. Like somebody said, he hasn't been here since 89. My man, I wasn't even born yet. You haven't been there in a minute. I mean, man, stop playing us, man. You ain't going nowhere.
In 89, Big Daddy Kane was the hottest rapper. Let's go.
In 89, I was in elementary school.
Warm it up, Kane. Warm it up, guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to.
Let me go ahead and get the She Means Business. I'm going to give you a couple minutes, and we're going to get to Ray, and then we're going to close it out for the night.
Yes. First, I just want to say, DJ, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I forgot to say hey to you. I was so annoyed with Sean. And particularly because I've seen him just continuously do this in every space. And Fahima, I just want that to be clear. But I forgot to say this earlier, and I did want to make this point because at the same time they're talking to us about all this Africanist stuff, there are places in this country where Ethiopians are building what? Ethiopian villages. They're not calling them Africa anything. They're calling it Ethiopian village. There are all types of organizations that the Senegalese have, Nigerians have, Somalians have. They're not calling it Africa anything. They're calling it whatever their nationality, ethnicity, whatever. That's what they're calling it. So it's completely ridiculous and hypocritical and just asinine for people to be coming in these spaces and continuously talking about stuff that is not reality. It's just ridiculous. And the other thing I want to say is absolutely nobody is going to silence us in our country. We will speak against what is happening to us. We will call out the truth. And if you don't like it, then change your behavior towards us. Point blank, period. Thank you, Newstoter, for these amazing spaces and DJ. And y'all have a blessed night.
Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to Ray. Ray's our last speaker for the night. Ray, what's going on?
I'm doing. How are you? Thanks for allowing me to speak on your stage. Good evening, Black America. I'm just confused at why people are still having these conversations with us, almost as if they think that we're chattel slaves. When you hear Africans get mad and call us slaves, as if we've ever, in our cotton picking minds, ever picked cotton, our grandparents didn't, but it's the lies for me. After all that we've done, and I heard this man tell a lie, we didn't welcome these people. We always open our doors in our communities to the Chinaman, the Mexican, the Jew, the Irish, the Italian. Every one of them have turned around, burnt that bridge, and then have the nerve to crack their mouths about how we're discussing issues in our community, which is including the African, the Jamaican, the diaspora, all of them. They all are together in the Office of New Americans. So stop listening to these people when, we need black, first of all, they're under oath to obey. They have willingly colonized themselves. They receive reparations from us upon landing here. All them dreamer babies, all the Article 14s, that was for us as the minority. We never complained. When they started getting in our business with reparations, that's when we just started waking up and seeing things for what it is. Like I said, the shower posse, if you look at the way that our communities were in the 70s, the 80s, after they infiltrated the Black Panther movement, they also infiltrated Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and then turned around and worked with the CIA. Then you had these Pan-Africanists telling us how we're Pan-Africans and we're all one flat blackness. You don't get to move somewhere and take somebody's
our culture, nationality, nor our blood lineage.
2 minutes
It's
is up.
just not going to happen. So I just want to say this is everybody, you need to start thinking about your children, your family, and everything else. It used to be that our elders made sure that we had a better today than their yesterday. And somewhere between the 70s and 80s, we have failed. And we're picking it back up. Today's a new day. Don't let these defeatists get your mindset in defeatism. We're Black American. We always win eventually.
Thank you, Ray. Ray, appreciate it. And like you said, we weren't even talking about that. Sha came in here and just it kind of shifted once he started talking about all of this. He came in, like I say, with the energy and the conversation kind of got redirected because we talking about race baiting, we talking about Haiti, we talking about the TikTok ban, and all of a sudden, like Black Americans, like out of all the people in this country who taxpayer money, even white folks, even the average white person can't sit up here and tell Congress what you gonna do with their tax dollar. Oh, well, we say we talk about our tax dollar. We. Like, yeah, it's hitting our taxes. Yeah, they're taking our tax dollars, giving it to people overseas, dude. What are you talking about? So that whole situation.
And Newstoter, can I please just tell people this? Stop jumping in this diaspora and these Africans where they're eating people. The Mexican cut people's head off, selling children, sleeping with children, marrying children. I believe that our community is stagnant for just that very thing. If you don't believe in God, universal law says they are all getting what they put out. And I'm fine with it.
No, Miss Cleo. Now, Miss Cleopatra, I know you was having some issues. You want to let you speak? Give you 2 minutes. You got time before we close it out? You there, Miss Cleopatra?
Hey, I was gonna try to say get Pia back in the room for a minute.
Nah. We finna close out. Miss Cleopatra was up here, but I know she had some issues with her phone, so I was trying to see if she can speak. We'll catch a Pia next go around. Miss Cleopatra, are you there? She came up here, but I'm not sure because she was having some issues before, so we're not gonna hold it up or whatever.
Just drop it down and see if she just come back up like that.
She dropped down. Let's see if
I dropped it down. See if she probably was stuck in the matrix. Sometimes that people don't be knowing what to do. But go ahead though.
I just sent her the invite to speak, so I don't know if she can come up here real quick before we close the space out. I'll let her go ahead and say whatever. But I don't know, like you say, what's his name? He came in here, with some energy, and then trouble kind of got on him right away, and that kind of led what it was. But she was right. Like nobody, like, what do you do? What are you talking about? You talk about we just one big nigga. Like, yeah, we've been telling the diaspora that for the longest. Like, you don't have to tell us anything. So love my folks say this turned into a mess, but thanks for hosting us, Newstoter. Like, hey.
Shout out to Sis on the school too, love my folks, going in off in.
Yeah, but that was, I should just kind of reared it back and just kept it on the conversation. Because like I say, and too many times everything is, it's always we getting blamed for all of the beefs of this diaspora beefs and everything else like that. Like, y'all need to go ahead and take some of that stuff up with your own people, man. Like I say, nobody was talking about it. We was having a simple conversation about Haiti. I think you said something about DJ about us going over there to help, and I'm like, well, I don't know all about us going over there to help.
That's where the rift started. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about us going over there to help because for one, you got America and France. Let's be for real, behind the scenes pulling strings as well too. So that ain't gonna be that easy. And and it came in here like, I guess this dude felt like we should just go ahead and volunteer and just come over there. And I'm like, what was all this volunteering to help us when we was going through hell over here as well too? So I respect Haiti. I respect the history. I respect what they did, which was one of the greatest accomplishments in world history, being a slave nation and rising up and beating your actual masters and stuff like that. You have to give them respect for that. That was a great, that was historical. That was great. At the same time, they got to do something similar to that again to raise themselves up out of the predicament they at. But only they can actually do that as well too. Same over there in Africa as well too. This dream of having this global Black army that's just that, a dream. You got the actual population and the people, and you're on your ancestral homeland. You can do it. You can raise up and you can beat it, but it's going to take you, it's going to take you standing still, standing up and whatnot. And you just can't constantly just keep giving space. You're going to have to go up there as a man, and you got to go ahead and take it. And that's the only way. That's the way nations get built if we want to be serious about it. You can't sit up here groveling and begging the people that colonize you, and you got the advantage. It's more you than them. So we have nothing to do with that. We wish you the best of luck and everything else like that as well. But, that's all I can say. But Miss Cleopatra, I don't think she's going to be able to come back up here. So, guys, DJ, you want to hit it up? You want to say something before we close it out?
Ain't no such thing as race baiting because race don't exist. You know what I'm saying? What you call it? What are we doing over here? The Haitian thing. I guess we just kind of closed that out or whatever the case be, though. But shout out to them folks. You know what I mean? And hopefully, barbecue do the right thing. But him letting them prisoners out, that's kind of like a step backwards. Each his own, I guess. You know what I mean? And the TikTok situation. Make sure you make an account on Newstoter. Newstoter is his own platform where it's social just like this here. As far as you can comment on posts and make posts and all this other stuff. So come up there and make an account. Obviously, you can come up on social too. We are streaming live on Newstoter every day. We stream live over here Monday to Thursday. We are live on Funded Social too as well in the article section. So just look for we are live at Newstoter at 8 o'clock every night. All right, over and out, y'all. One love. Peace.
Real talk, guys. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Everybody be safe. Take care. Peace until then.